Mhm. Ja.
My mic is off. Hello everybody and welcome to Honor Majesty's Secret Service. It's not Christmas until Bond escapes Piz Gloria. He will do so tonight, and I'm again here with my dear friend from Switzerland, Yannick Zenoisen, and you will be very important today as much of Honor Majesty's Secret Service was filmed in Switzerland. Hi Yannick.
That's right. Hi, Benjamin.
I hope everybody is doing okay. I hope you can hear us. And this is a special night tonight because we call this a Christmas special, as you can see from our overlay. Yeah? And behind me, right there, make some room, there are your prizes for tonight. 16 prizes we will give away. 12 of them will be photo sets. We have 70 photos to give away tonight, varying in size. So we start with the smaller ones. Well, not tiny, but smaller, but enough for a frame. I actually made 14 photo sets, so I miscounted somehow. So 14 chances to win for you, Mr. Bond. Yeah. 6 of these photo sets will come with a Universal Export Robert Sterling business card, the one Bond uses in Quantum of Solace, for instance. And they're randomly in there, so I don't know. I will show you when I bring the sets to the front and show you what you can win. Later, after the film, we will be playing for the main prizes, and they are really fantastic. These are the big ones. You can see there, the white thing. And we will be playing 2 games. One is called Where is Fekesh and the other is called Blofeld's Aquarium. Very, very funny stuff, but you don't get prizes for nothing, so you have to do something for it. Quick note on the rules. On the top right, you can see my email address, benjaminlind@thebondbulletin.de. This is where you, if you win a prize, please send an email. I also show it to you here. Because I need your name and full address, of course, otherwise I can't send you your prize. I will later throw this in again, so when you win, this is where you notify me that you have won. Of course, I will note down your names on the individual photo sets, but these are your YouTube names, so I need to know where you live, otherwise I can't send you the prize and I put it up to my wall, or Yannick's wall, whatever. Right, is everybody having something nice to drink? Of course, if you watch the Bond Bulletin Advent Calendar, you should have made mulled wine, just like I have. That's what I'm having. And this is real, people. This is not juice or something. This is real mulled wine. And it's hot. It's, yeah, you can't see it probably, but... Yannick, what are you having? What is that?
Just standard coffee.
Standard coffee. Boring.
Mm-hmm.
It's Christmas, Yannick.
Yeah.
Get in the Christmas spirit, will you?
But it's actually just another note. Some people were asking in the last couple of videos, like the mulled wine, like the recipes and so on. What does that have to do with Bond? Well, it was videos. There were videos for the preparation for tonight, so you have some recipes and ideas what you could drink, eat tonight. That was the idea behind it.
Absolutely. And why does everything always have to be about Bond?
Right.
You can have in an advent calendar, when it's chocolate, there will be things in there you don't like. So if you don't like it, steer away from it. Watch something else. But Michael, hi Michael, no cinnamon cookies? Of course, cinnamon stars, right there, delicious. Oh, Yannick has an echo. Does Yannick still have an echo? Yannick, say something.
Hello? Yeah, hello. Do I have an echo? Do I still echo? I can echo all night long. Hello?
Is it better now?
No, Jochen says it's still echoing.
There might be a bit of a delay. Oh, it's okay now.
Good.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Thank God. This would have thrown the whole stream off course. Let me just check if that's everywhere. No, it's fine. Yeah, it was when I turned my mic on. Okay, so let's start giving away the first prize. Photo set number 1. Let me see. 10 by 15 photos. 5. Quickly show them to you. These are the photo sets, how they look like. So they are behind the scenes and publicity pictures, whatever. Yeah? This first photo set goes for the following question. The rule is the first one who writes it in the chat wins it. Are you ready? Yannick, you cannot participate. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
But you get all the pictures of Lazenby that will be left over.
Oh, great. Thank you. How thoughtful.
Okay, guys. Photo set number 1. You can win for this question. On what date did Honor Majesty's Secret Service celebrate its world premiere in London? First one who answers wins this photo set. I need a pen so I can write your name on it. What date did Honor Majesty's celebrate its world premiere in London? It's awfully quiet. Everybody's looking it up now.
Google it, yeah. Yes, right.
Mick, 18th of December. Mick, you've won the first photo set.
Congratulations.
Yep.
Mick.
Definitely. So, please send an email, Mick, to my email address, benjaminlind@thebondbulletin.de. You can see it in the top right corner. So that you can let me know your full name and address. Of course, your full name is displayed here. So, yeah, that's just me. It's the mulled wine showing already. It's a good start. And we're 3 minutes away from the film. So, it's a long one. It's 1 liter. So, great.
Okay.
There will be more questions throughout the film. So at random, I will throw in a question. I will notify you, obviously. And yeah, you have to be quick. But they are really easy. They're very, very, very easy questions because we want you to win. We don't want to make it difficult. All right. On Her Majesty's Secret Service, one of the longer films, and Yannick and I discussed it beforehand, when you have the DVD, your film will run a little bit shorter than our version. We have the Blu-ray version, which is 2 hours and 22 minutes and 22 seconds. That's really odd.
Wow.
It's almost like an omen. Because a Blu-ray runs with 24 pictures per second and a DVD runs with 25 frames per second. So that's why this is as it is. What do you guys think? You have all seen No Time to Die, I guess. Some of you have already received the Blu-ray. It's been released. And does On Her Majesty's appear in a different light to you? In 1969, it had almost the same impact as No Time to Die had this year. Because people thought something like killing off Bond's wife is something you just don't do. You killed the franchise. And it was much the same backlash as we had this year. Of course, the fan community wasn't as big as it is today in 1969, but yeah, still, On Her Majesty's was a film that provoked and divided. And on our, yeah, Yannick?
Sorry to interrupt you real quickly. Just a quick shout out to everybody who's joining right now and who's been from the start, has been here from the start. And you were just talking about No Time to Die, and we have just, I hope I pronounced that name rightly, Yen Al or Jen Al. Hi guys, I'm the Cuban singer in the Cuban club scene of No Time to Die.
Oh,
Isn't that cool?
interesting. Hello, Jen. That was a great scene, by the way. I liked it very much. The Cuba scene is really, really good. Yeah, that's one of my highlights in No Time to Die. The rest, what? I'm a bit... But thanks for joining in. I hope you're having fun. Maybe you win something. That would be great. And at some point, maybe we can do an interview. You have to catch them when they're there.
Right.
Okay, guys. Yannick, you will do the honors. Count us in, and we will start watching on Her Majesty's Secret Service. And as usual, you will get behind the scenes on my mark. So whatever you're on, if you're on a tablet, a smartphone, smart TV, or whatever, you will see behind the scenes pictures on your screen. Yannick, do the honors.
Okay. 5, 6. Oh no. One job.
Downwards.
Okay.
Not upwards.
Let's go again. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Yep. Off we go. It's been a long time since I've seen that. That's really. I don't watch them often. Cool. Many interesting things happen in this film, so I will guide you through it. First of all, is of course the gun barrel sequence that we see, and it's the only gun barrel sequence where Bond drops down on one knee. No other actor has ever done that. And obviously, it's the only sequence where the blood that comes down from the top of the screen completely erases Bond. He's completely covered by the Bond, by the blood. In No Time to Die, it's different. Bond fades out, but he can still be seen. He's completely wiped out by the blood. That interesting cameo here, director Peter Hunt, is reflected in the Universal Exports sign.
All right.
Yeah. It's an old one. Yeah, and he confirmed that cameo in 1999 or something. Yeah. And this is a perfect Christmas film because it is explicitly the only Eon Productions Bond film that is set during Christmas and New Year's Eve holiday season. There is no other film. I mean, supposedly The World Is Not Enough plays also in that time frame because he celebrates New Year's Eve with Christmas Jones. So everything else before must have happened around Christmas.
That's right. Oh, but then again, that's the subtle things, you know, like it's all the same. Die Hard is also, you know, a Christmas movie. By the way, confirmed by John McTiernan himself, the director. Yeah. But it never evokes it because snow inherently evokes that feeling of Christmas, of course.
That's true. Yeah.
The World Is Not Enough does not do that. Die Hard 1 doesn't do it as well. So yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of snow in On Her Majesty's, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. Beautiful Switzerland. I mean,
yeah.
There is no better place to do that.
Right.
It's interesting how they introduced the new Bond here. I mean, it was a change of face from Sean Connery to George Lazenby, and there was a different approach to doing that. They felt they needed to explain the change of actors. And they threw ideas around, including Bond having plastic surgery, stuff, because his old face, Connery's face, was too well known by spies and foreign spy agencies. But they didn't refer to the change at all. So they just went from silhouette to the scene where Bond rescues Tracy. And this is a very interesting opening, because we will later see this is foreshadowing. A lot of foreshadowing. It appeared to me in the preparation. Tracy in the sights of Bond. And she's later killed by a rifle, or by a machine gun. And it's a very interesting trick shot here. I like this beach opening very much. When he drives down with the Aston Martin DBS, you again, like in Dr. No, you hear the tires screeching, which is a bit weird.
All right.
And they had railroad ties buried under the sand so that the Aston Martin could go down there.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's very different. They're difficult to drive in the sand with these cars. Here is some behind the seats from Guincho Beach in Portugal. That's where this was filmed. Nice car. the Aston Martin DBS. Really like it. And this scene has, for me, it has a very good dynamic, and you immediately see the good camera work and the technique that was used by Peter Hunt. Peter Hunt, a very good eye for scenes that look dramatic. You have that one scene on the beach where there is that anchor where they fight with. It just lies in the sand and is the focus point of the image, and they are fighting in the water. First Andrew Diana Rick here in a 700-pound jeweled dress.
No.
Completely ruined by the sea and the sand. Yeah.
Martin just wrote, every new year I start up The World Is Not Enough at the exact right moment, so the new year begins, the second Bond gets the boat and starts chasing the cigar girl.
It's a good way to start the new year.
Yeah.
I love The World Is Not Enough. It's really great.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. And the pistol here is interesting, Yannick. You should know that. This is Terence Mountain playing the henchman Raphael,
Yes.
who actually appears twice in the film. Later he appears on the side of the good guys, so that's really fun. But the pistol here is a SIG P210, the famous Neuhausen pistol, and I was told, or I read, it is used by the Swiss Army.
Yeah, its successors now used by the Swiss Army, right? Mm-hmm. It was the P2226 for a while, but yes, the 6 Sauer is basically the Swiss Army pistol, right? That's true.
Yeah.
And I think it's also used in a couple of other countries, but I'm not sure which ones again.
Not in Germany. We actually have the Walther P99. That's our service pistol for the police.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Very
the
trusty.
police. The Swiss police force is also used to use the 6 Sauer, but I think now they have switched to the Glock, which is again very famous movie pistol used in many movies.
Yeah. This is what I was talking about, the anchor that Terence Mountain just picked up. Beautiful cinematography. Martin says that as well. Cinematography is so good. It really is. It's fantastic. Some of it in that opening fight feels a bit weird because it's too much. So the punches that are thrown in the water together with the sound effects, it's a tiny bit ridiculous. It's over the top. It's too much. Yeah. But altogether, it's a really, really good opening. A powerful opening to sell a new Bond. And this is, I think, the only Bond film where nobody dies in the pre-title sequence. Because we don't see anybody die. Not from a few punches.
No.
Yeah.
Well, you've thrown up the question about has your view on No Time to Die changed your perception of On Her Majesty's Secret Service? And Big Chap and Tim Hans are discussing that. Actually, Tim Hans said yes, which On Her Majesty's was referenced in No Time to Die. Big Chap says it was badly done. Was not a good thing. I suppose it meant to be. Yeah, well.
Yep. It's good to exchange these opinions. I really like that a lot. Especially when there are such heavy opinions, contrasting opinions, like with No Time to Die, where it's like Marmite. It's love or hate.
Yep.
And sometimes these are the best discussions because you can take something out of everything. I wanted to say something about the line that he says, "This never happened to the other fella." Famous line, obviously, which is breaking the fourth wall between the film and the audience. And this is not the first time in this film that certain film techniques appear that are now common. For example, On Her Majesty's uses slow motion. When Bond is knocked out in bed by Irma Bunt, there is a slow motion effect that was never before used in a Bond film. We have a flashback scene later when Bond is in his office and he remembers Tracy being captured after the avalanche. This is new. And, of course, breaking the fourth wall by saying this never happened to the other fella and looking directly into the camera. So it's really interesting. They offered the part to Timothy Dalton. But he was 22 at the time. Too young and inexperienced. But he would, of course, later take up the helm as Bond in Living Daylights.
Martin just wrote a funny fact. In the Czech dub, it was translated as "This never happened to Connery." Just even better, right?
Yeah. It was actually on location they decided to do that, and from what I've read, it was Lazenby's idea to say that.
Okay.
And it worked, and they took it. And instrumental main title sequence doesn't often happen in a Bond film.
Right.
Yeah? And it doesn't include the film's title as part of the lyrics.
Do you know the story behind it? Why it was just instrumental?
No, not really.
Okay.
Yeah, well, they couldn't work the title "On Her Majesty's Secret Service" into any song, into lyrics. That's why they decided against it. But the title "On Her Majesty's Secret Service" in itself is very interesting because it's a corruption of a very familiar phrase for most British people, decades long. All the correspondence that was sent from government departments, so when it's the tax office or social services, they arrived at people's home in envelopes that had a stamp on it with the words "On Her Majesty's Service," and this was shortened with OHMS. So you knew that you got mail from the government.
Okay.
I play you a bit of behind the scenes of the casino scene. Really, really nice. And pay attention to all the flowers in these scenes. Whenever Diana Rigg is in a scene, there are flowers nearby. And you will later see that she has a flower-type wedding dress. And director Peter Hunt insisted that fresh flowers are on the set whenever they filmed a scene with Diana Rigg. That's very interesting.
Well, it's the 60s for sure. Look at those colors of those walls, that pink vial.
And the woman sitting here on the card table, the woman to the left of the man with the white dinner jacket, is actually Bessie Love, an old actress from the silent era of films. She was a major star, was nominated for an Oscar for the film The Broadway Melody. Here you can see her. In 1929 she was nominated. And I constantly miss her when I look for cameos. And a very nice scene. Very nice set design. Costumes. As you said. Typical for that time. And again, Baccarat. This will be important for the next or one of the questions where you can win something. Do you know what actresses were considered for the role of Tracy, other than Diana Rigg?
I think I remember some, but the names escape me right now.
They mainly went French, so they went for Brigitte Bardot, Jacqueline Bisset, and Catherine Deneuve.
Okay.
They were all in the running. And Brigitte Bardot was the first choice of director Peter Hunt. But she decided to rather go for dashing Sean Connery and star with him, opposite him in Shalako, which was filmed in 1968, at the same time On Her Majesty's was filmed. And they chose Diana Rigg because of her appearance as Emma Peel in The Avengers, which was in 1961 already. So I guess they thought she has the fighting spirit and the looks, which she has. I mean, I love Diana Rigg in that role as Tracy. She looks fantastic.
And is my perception right that I would say in the Bond community or in general, there's a very high opinion of her as a Bond girl?
I can imagine, yeah. Well, partly because she became his wife. So all through the film, you grow with this pair, and I like her for that, because at first she is opposed to Lazenby's Bond. So she's trying hard to get. Massimo wrote correctly. Shakira Kane was in one of the behind-the-scenes images. She was standing behind Lazenby at the table in the casino, and her scene was cut. Well, she wasn't seen from the her head wasn't seen, and she didn't like that at all. At a party together with her husband Michael Caine, she complained about that, and she complained to the producers that she wasn't actually seen in the film.
Well, unsuccessfully, because she's never been seen.
No. And the casino is particularly striking because of that. I remember this purple tapestry, and Peter Hunt aimed with the whole design of the film for a simple but glamorous 1950s Hollywood look that he grew up with. And he wanted to achieve exactly that. He didn't want the sets to look like sets. And I think he achieved that very well. I mean, even that hotel room with that fight, which is very fast cut. There are pictures on the wall. The lighting is correct. There are so many details placed everywhere. Some of them totally unimportant, but they are there and they make the room look less like a set. This is something I enjoy very, very much.
Yeah. We have a couple of...
Go on.
Just a couple of comments I'd like to throw in, because there's a lot of good, interesting things flying around. Like always, we always have great people here who comment nice things and interesting facts. Distinctive great media love the use of lighting in the movie. It's like you said, it contributes, of course, to the colors and the appearance.
Yeah.
Big Chap said Diana Rigg was big in the UK for Avengers before on Her Majesty's, right? Mm-hmm. And Martin wrote, I like how this is the most book accurate Bond movie ever made. There are some minor differences, but it's mostly one-to-one with the novel. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, yeah. And with Diamonds Are Forever, they threw all of that overboard and did something completely else. But with Her Majesty's, they were quite true to the book. That's true. Time for question number 2. Everybody, get to your keyboards. There's another photo set to win. Photo set number 2. Also 10 by 15 photos. Here they are. Some nice photos from behind the scenes. Telly Savalas.
Oh, yeah.
Question is, you ready, guys? First one who gives the answer in the chat wins. In how many official Bond films does 007 play Baccarat? In how many films is 007 seen playing Baccarat? Give me the number and win photo set number 2. La 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 la. Everybody's counting.
Can I help a little bit?
No, definitely not. So we have Michael 2, Mick Corbett 4, Matt 32. That's a bit much. Martin 3, 1, 3, 4, 3. Correct answer is still not there. 3, 3, 3. No, people. Martin, you won. 5. Martin, I'm afraid of pronouncing your last name. And I'm not even trying it. But Martin, you win photo set number 2, because 5 is correct. He plays Baccarat in Dr. No, Thunderball on Her Majesty's, For Your Eyes Only, and GoldenEye. So.
Congratulations, Martin. Well done.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, same for you. Top right corner, you find my email address. Please write to me your address so I can send this off to you. And each set and each prize will be accompanied by a special card only made for this occasion. Only in the Bond Bulletin. Shameless. Advertising. So, here you see it. Fresh flowers behind the bed with Tracy. Whenever Tracy is there, there will be fresh flowers. Yes, you said?
Yeah, I was just about to say that there's a saying in Switzerland, do good things and talk about it.
Ah, well, I do good things and don't talk about it most of the time.
That's right. Sometimes, that's why I say sometimes you can surely compliment yourself. Absolutely.
I'm too modest. Have another cinnamon star.
Yeah, shove them in.
I'm I'm not a fan of the ruffle shirt. Oh, they actually make a camera pan on the flowers. That's very interesting.
I was about to say the same. That ruffle is just. It's
horrible.
It's funny on Austin Powers, but other than that, well.
Mm-hmm. True. Again, here Tracy leaves a flower on his dressing gown. Yeah, you said.
There were some comments scattered throughout the start of this stream where there's a lot of love for John Barry's score, and I think when I remember back correctly, I think that's one of the score that people quote the most when it comes to John Barry's work and admire the most of his whole Bond catalog. I personally don't agree, but it is a very good score, but I don't think it is best, in my opinion.
John Barry used a lot of synthesizers here on this score,
right?
Which was something new for him. So his scores are mostly orchestral and really big scores, but a lot of synthesizer here in On Her Majesty's. But still, it's a fantastic score. Yeah, absolutely. And if you've seen the Bond Bulletin Advent Calendar today, you've seen Cue the Music Show perform Escape from Piz Gloria and Battle at Piz Gloria. Fantastic. They are really, really great. Yannick, you are asked for your favorite.
My favorite score, well, not going to go into it again because otherwise I get bashed to bits and pieces.
Oh, here we go. Another hype of Hans Zimmer. Bring it along.
Yeah, right, exactly. Very well played, yes, absolutely.
I'm sorry.
No, as a kid of the 90s, I have to go for the incredible and so fitting sound design of Eric Serra and David Arnold, of course. But that doesn't mean I'm not absolutely in awe of what John Barry had created. And like you said, if you listen to these soundtracks these days, like on a Majesty's, especially the beginning score, the beginning cue when he drives in the car, and then later on when also in other movies like View to Kill and so on, where John Barry then used drum computers and stuff like that. It sounds cheesy now in retrospect, but it was, like you said, absolute. It was fitting the times. I mean, of course, at the end of the 60s, they were starting to use those synthesizers, and they sound almost ridiculous these days. But it was the new thing back then. Right?
Yeah. Also a nice piece of sound design here when he knocks out Draco's men. The sound is enhanced over the top. It's something I always disliked, but they played around with that. And the janitor in that scene can be heard whistling the Goldfinger theme. That was also nice. And we are at the meeting with Draco. Here is some behind-the-scenes footage. Don't mind that it says Pinewood Studios. Obviously, the first picture is still Portugal. My mistake. Gabriel Fersetti, wonderful actor. And there's an interesting thing on the table when Draco speaks to Bond, and he speaks about his daughter and his family in general, and mentions Tracy's mother. The photo that you will see on the side table right there is actually a photo of Diana Rigg's own mother, Beryl Halliwell. Yeah. They just didn't have a stock photo at hand or something. Also here, I think there is a little purple theme in here, in the film. Olympe is wearing this purple dress, which of course in 4K looks astonishing. I have the 4K version, and the colors there, all of the films look fantastic. And again, the set design is so fantastic. It doesn't feel like a set. This fireplace is probably all plaster and wood.
Yeah.
But it looks fantastically real.
Yeah. But to a certain degree, very stylized,
Yeah,
really
sure.
accentuating the 60s.
And Gabriel Fersetti, he was only 13 years older than Dame Diana Rigg, playing his daughter. And this is not his original voice. His voice for the English language version was dubbed by actor David De Keyser, who played Dr. Tynan in Diamonds Are Forever. I think Gabriel Fassetti's voice, which was often the case there, had a high Italian influence, just like Emilio Largo in Thunderball had, played by Adolfo Celli. It was the same. Such a thick Italian accent that they couldn't sell the film in America. It happened so much from Ursula Andress to all up the way up to Moonraker, where they thought they needed to replace voices. And the character itself, Draco, apparently based on Greek millionaire, Aristotle Onassis, who later married Jackie Kennedy, the wife of the late President Kennedy, and who had a fling with, not just a fling, but a big thing with opera singer, what was her name? Maria Callas. Well, I'm quite knowledgeable tonight. It's horrible.
No.
I watch too many documentaries. I love documentaries. That's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You're typing all the time. Those cigarette holder. I had a cigarette holder once.
Really?
When I felt incredibly posh, I had a cigarette holder. Don't know why.
Is that really just a posh thing, or is that your fingers don't stink, or what is the?
Your fingers will stink anyway, because of everything that comes out of the cigarette will make your fingers yellow, and it will stink. But sometimes in some cigarette holders there is an extra filter in there. So back in those days in the 60s, people bought cigarettes that did not have a filter in it.
Oh,
a lot of cigarettes did not have a filter built in like we have today, and they were favored by many people. The strongest I ever had, and I stopped smoking, by the way, because smoking is bad for your health. Thank you very much. The Ministry of Health made me say that. Nile. Do you know Nile?
No.
These are cigarettes that are not round. They have a totally weird shape, but they are so strong. They are so strong, and they don't have a filter. So you always have. It's like when you do your own cigarettes. You always have pieces of tobacco around your mouth, and I didn't like that. Never liked it, and I never like when you do them yourself. When you roll them yourself, they are usually pretty strong. And back in the day when cigarettes were not so strong, we licked them left to right, and then they were a bit stronger. The olden days.
Well, I could only imagine, because I usually smoked the Marlboro Lights. Now once just by mistake, I got a red one, and that was horrible. It was like smoking pure tarmac.
Yeah. What were they called?
I can only begin to imagine what it's like to really smoke just filterless cigarettes. What did you say?
How were they called?
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna bother.
Some more mild wine, Mr. Bond. This is the final time that we see Bond tossing a hat in Moneypenny's office, until For Your Eyes Only. And actually, he does it twice in this film, in Moneypenny's office, and later at the wedding when he shows her, when he throws her the hat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, time for question number 3.
Yes.
Next photo set. Who wants to win 10 by 5? Oh, this one has a Universal Exports card. Here you go.
Oh.
Look at that.
Oh, nice.
This one has a Universal Exports Robert Sterling in there, so if you want to win it, you have to answer the next question. There's a lovely picture of the wedding and the fight scene on Ginshu Beach. Oh, fantastic. So, if you want to win this photo set, you have to answer the question: in how many films did Lois Maxwell play Moneypenny? That's an easy one. First one who writes it wins. In how many films did Lois Maxwell play Moneypenny? I love her. Willem. 14. Willem, You win. First answer.
Great.
Of course, if you won one photo set, it's your own choice. If you want to participate again, it would be nice to give the others a try as well. But later for the big prizes, you can all throw your ring in the hat. Throw your hat in the ring. Oh, it's working. The mulled wine is working fine. It's working great. 14. Lois Maxwell starred in the first 14 Bond films. So this photo set goes to Willem. Thank you. Also for you, write me an email so I know your address and I can send it on the way.
John Lennon came back from the dead just to win these photos.
John Glenn likes this. The first of 2 times that Bond is shown in his own office. What is the other? Yannick, what is the other time?
In his own office.
Where do we see Bond in his own office?
Die Another Day?
Exactly. You win a weekend with me in Switzerland.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Can I write you an email too?
No, I know your address. That sounds suggestive. Yeah. We are like that. No, we're not like that. No. God, no. Egyptian builders. We are Egyptian builders on a mission. Nope. God, I knew mulled wine was a effing bad idea. I almost said the bad word. If that's empty, I still have gin. So that's good.
Oh, great. Yeah, that's...
God, we're 30 minutes into the film.
Yeah, right.
Here, look, Yannick, heard some of it. Probably your music. Your stuff is top notch. That's a good comment. Right aimed at you.
Thank you very much.
I like these scenes. Sambujal, Portugal. Fantastic. And the lovely Diana Rigg. And this this is interesting because this is the only Bond film which was entirely set and filmed in Europe. Yeah. And the only film where Bond goes to Portugal. Which of course could have been featured more because Fleming was inspired by the Casino de Estoril to create Casino Royale, the first Bond novel.
And I just love that car. That red Mercury Cougar is just
fantastic.
Love it.
And here in the behind the scenes pictures you see some of the costume design that Diana Rigg wore, the costume. Fantastic. Even my girlfriend said this looks really amazing. And it's you can win that later. Not the outfit though. I'll show you. Don't worry. It's one of the big prizes. No. But it's not the outfit. Yeah. Portugal was featured heavily. The car pursuit at the beginning takes place when they go to the beach. It's Estrada do Cabo in Portugal, a coastal road. The beach fight, as we saw, is Praia do Guincho. The hotel Bond was staying was in Cascais, if I pronounce that right. I don't know. And Bond crosses the Salazar Bridge, which is now called Ponte 25th of April, something. And before that, it had the name of Portuguese dictator Antonio de Oliveira Salazar, who ruled Portugal from 1932 to 1968. So, and probably they didn't like that name anymore. And this scene here with the bull ring, this actually exists. So it's not a set. It's not something they built. It's the Herdade de Zambujal. This is a large property, 3,500 hectares. Includes a cattle ranch and the Mario Vinhas stud farm. So this was the empire of a man who lived for bulls and horses and his enormous affection towards these animals and stuff. And in the 60s, they started breeding Lusitanian thoroughbred horses that have unique characteristics, and I know a bit of horses. Lusitanian horses are known for nobility and intelligence and generosity. So they were bred for bullfighting. And
generosity?
Yeah. They give a lot.
Okay. whatever that means.
Well, you can have ungenerous horses, I can tell you. And it still exists like that. It's a family-owned business, this stud farm. And you can see some of the horses in the background here, actually. It's very nice. When you ask nicely, they will let you on the property. Some Bond fans have been there, the location hunters, obviously. I'm told it is a fantastic place to be, and they keep it in good shape. I like the dialogues here. Really, really well written. Although they brought in an extra writer to refine scenes between Diana Rigg and Telly Savalas later, when we are on Piz Gloria. But already here, the tension that is transported through dialogue and acting, facial expression and everything is fantastic. And Lazenby is not doing a bad job as Bond. His portrayal is not a bad one. It's actually rather good. Diana Rigg said so herself. It was more the surrounding, how he behaved during filming, that gave him a bad reputation. Have you been to a bullfight, Yannick?
No, I
not recently.
No, but I just don't find it interesting. It's not. It doesn't have any thoughts behind it. I just don't find it interesting to watch. How about you?
When I was a child, we frequently went to Mallorca, and my father liked it, so he took every one of us, the whole family, to a bullfight. So I've seen a couple, yeah. Didn't think anything of it as a child.
Sure, yeah.
It was explained to me what it is and what it's for, and that they eat the bull afterwards. That the meat is transported to restaurants and everything. So I thought it totally normal. Interesting scene here. Diana Rigg with a black cat again, foreshadowing. It's the second foreshadow. Bond meets Draco on the 13th, and Diana Rigg is stroking a black cat. And again, she holds a flower in her hand and throws it into the fountain. And the theme we have all the time in the world was the last thing that Louis Armstrong ever recorded. He died 2 years later. Great song.
Yeah.
I like it. I like Louis Armstrong a lot. I recently sang What a Wonderful World for a Christmas video. I hope the person who gets it is not watching. Oh, God.
Good job.
I tell everyone the presents beforehand. Yeah. My girlfriend already knows what she's getting. So, and now we are in Bern.
Well, yeah.
And this...
Grüezi.
Yeah, Grüezi. And that was actually the first scene shot of the whole film, going over that bridge in Bern. And we've been there.
Yes.
Together. Yeah. That was a really nice day. I remember that very fondly.
Yeah, that was a great experience.
Oh, back projection.
Yeah, it still doesn't look good these days. Never mind back then.
And funny enough, that whole safe-cracking scene was not in the original script. And director Hunt used it just like Hitchcock would have done to create tension. And the scene is so long and without dialogue that it was cut from some videotape versions and from TV broadcasts. But it's a great scene because actually there's nothing happening. He's just cracking the safe. He's looking at a Playboy magazine, but there's no dialogue. There's just music, almost like Hitchcock. And this entry is different from the scenes that are shot upstairs. Upstairs, when he's in that room and in the balcony, that is Hotel Schweizerhof in Bern. Opposite what is now Bern Central Station.
Right.
And it's a big glass building and stuff, but the construction site you see was the real construction site of Bern Central Station. And you will see pictures in a minute, real pictures from the construction site. But I didn't find any pictures with the construction site actually in front of Hotel Schweizerhof.
Yeah.
I only found them slightly to the right. And this was a building project that went on for years, I read.
Right.
And it cost a lot.
And it's an interesting fact. Willem just wrote the safe crack scene was missing on my first VHS tape.
Exactly. They cut it out because it made the film too long and it adds nothing to the film.
Mm-hmm.
So there's the proof. Thank you, Willem. There's the proof. It was missing. And I mean, what is he actually doing? And the tension is created by Gumboldt. You think that he's coming back. He forgot something. And then he is actually coming back later. But all it does is creating tension.
Right.
And since this construction site was real, they just fitted the cranes with the Draco Construction logo.
Mm-hmm.
But the workers and everything, here's the behind the scenes. If you watch on your tablet or smart TV and everything, these are the real photos of Bern during the construction.
Right.
So to see, so there is an old train station, which is sort of a very big building, and they tore it down to extend more to the left where Hotel Schweizerhof is. That is what you see in the film. There, the construction site is directly in front of the hotel. It was a massive project, but you can see the church in the background. I forgot the name. Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta use something that is already there.
Right. That's right. And a lot of the stuff still, the surroundings these days, they look. A lot of the surroundings have changed, but you can still find all the places where they place the camera, the facades of the building. They still look very, very closely to like that. Maybe when you have seen pictures of Bern, tourists taking pictures. Also, the back that you see of the car right now, the back projection, or the back scene, that still looks very much like that today. That's
absolutely, yeah. And this scene in the car is especially funny because there is a translation mistake in the German version. It's totally ridiculous, and the German version of On Her Majesty's Secret Service is completely ridiculous because there were new scenes put in and the actors who dubbed the voices were dead, so they just took a new actor, so the voice changed within the scene. But in this scene, the German dubbing, that's where it happened. And Draco says, "Tomorrow I will speak to him alone," and it was mistakenly translated to "Tomorrow I will speak to Malone." There is no person called Malone in the film. Yeah, it's totally ridiculous.
Yeah, the translations there, and I mean also the Gebrüder Gumboldt, that's right, but no one says or writes Advokaten. I mean, it's just not proper German.
No. And this reading of the Playboy magazine is actually interesting because it's a nod to the fact that On Her Majesty's Secret Service was the first of Ian Fleming's novels to be serialized in the Playboy magazine, and it appeared in the May 1963 issue of Playboy, if I remember correctly, and it was followed by I Think You Only Live Twice.
Mm-hmm. Willem just also said a scene at the gondola station near Schlitzhorn, probably Schildhorn, was also missing VHS.
Yeah, Schlitzhorn is also nice. That would be interesting. Because it would be like Schlitzohr, like bad person.
Yeah, right.
German word, bad person. Yeah. Yeah. Post Malone foreshadowing. Yeah. And the centerfold in the Playboy magazine, I know I found that centerfold somewhere and I put it together because I had it in 3 pieces. That was Lori Menconi, the name of the model. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Gumboldt comes back, so there is the tension. Yeah, you have the whole build-up. I can understand that the whole scene is missing from a VHS, because I don't know, it gave me nothing except for the really good music.
Yeah.
Mark Saatkamp says it was built faster than Stuttgart 21. The extension to the Stuttgart Central Station. Yeah. Although the construction in Bern, Stuttgart 21 still is longer, but Bern was close to 13 years, I think, that they built that. Well, it's right, yeah. Advokaten. Nobody says that anymore.
Yeah, and especially not with a C.
No. Wow.
Wow.
But you find that a lot in films from the 60s. I like the films, like war films and stuff that were made in the 60s, where they took real German actors to speak German lines. Because that makes it authentic. When you have war films where somebody plays Nazi figureheads like Hermann Goering or Adolf Hitler, and they sound so British.
Yes.
I know Anthony Hopkins played Adolf Hitler once. I, as far as I remember, with his usual normal British accented voice, which is just, it doesn't sell for me.
No, the only person who can do that is Sean Connery when he plays a Russian submarine captain.
Red October.
Yes,
fantastic film.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, Bond, the butterfly expert. Not often we see M in his home, and this is a rather stately home compared to what Dame Judi Dench had, for example. Time for another question.
Please do.
Let's see, what do we do? First I get a photo set. Another set of 10 by 15 photos. Oh, lovely. With some girls in there.
Show.
And a very rare picture of Diana Rigg. That's what you can win right now. Well, if you tell me, go to your keyboards, what is M's full name in the first 11 Bond films? M's real name. What does M stand for in the first 11 films? La 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 la.
Yeah, good luck everybody, right?
Yeah. But this is an easy question. Yes, Martin. Sir Miles Messervy. That's true. That's you won 2 photo sets then. Yeah, you have to be quick here. That's good. It goes all in one package.
Congratulations.
Okay. Sir Miles Messervy is the name of M. Yeah. Very good. Don't worry. Still lots to win.
Yeah, Martin, you've read novels, right? Yeah, so you have a clear advantage, right?
Yeah. And there is Fidian. There was a whole scene filmed with Fidian. Yeah. That was cut, but there are photos of it. And in the brilliant book, I have it, but it's behind the prices. I can show you after the film, by Charles Helfenstein. A very good book about the making of On Her Majesty's. There are all the photos and a scene description of that cut scene where Bond follows Fidian, who overhears the conversation between Bond and Hilary Bray through this statue on the table. Would have probably added more to the film than the Book of Brüder Gumboldt scene. But, yeah. And of course we have the motto Orbis nun sufficit, the world is not enough.
Yeah.
Used for the title of the 1999 Bond film.
Right, and I think that is a good way of reusing. It's not fan service, but it's great a nod. It's a great bringing something back very stylishly, and very, very in a very clever way to bring something back in that way, as opposed to mere fan service. Yeah. Like, oh, we have the Aston Martin DB5. Yeah, great work.
Yep. Absolutely. What I found really weird about this film, and I've never come to terms with it, is that Bond, for the remainder of the film, or for a big part of this film, Bond appears with the voice of Sir Hilary Bray. Yeah. That is something I have never liked, because why? I mean, you think that Blofeld would recognize his face, because they've met before. That is an ongoing discussion between Bond fans. Yeah. Oh. And I play you some behind the scenes from Lauterbrunnen. It's very short because there are not many photos that exist from the Lauterbrunnen filming.
And guys, if you get a chance, then now of course we're in Switzerland. If you get a chance to go to Lauterbrunnen, Mürren, Schildhorn, please do, because this whole place is so magical. you remember when we went there, Benjamin, down in the valley, but a lot has changed. I mean, the phone booth is gone and everything, so you really have to look closely, but you can still spot the places where they filmed.
Absolutely. And we filmed in these same places, and I mean, the street layout is there. That's enough for me.
Yeah,
but
right.
The rest, it's a magical place, as you say. I have nothing to add to that. There's, of course, German actress Ilse Steppert, her only English language role in film. And sadly, she couldn't enjoy her success and couldn't return in Diamonds Are Forever, which was planned, because she died of a heart attack just 2 days after the movie premiered. And this was her final film role.
Mm-hmm.
And as I said, it was intended for her to come back. Something that they did now, of course, was Dr. Vogel, played by Brigitte Miller. She appeared in Spectre and No Time to Die. And she modeled her character on Irma Bunt and Rosa Klebb. And only 2 times, I think, or 3 times, it's the appearance of a VW Beetle, of a Volkswagen Beetle. There is one in here, there's one in Octopussy, and there are several in Skyfall on that train. But new Beetles. And of course, this is the Christmassy winter part of the film, which I really like. And it looks like they had a lot of snow, but some of that snow was transported there.
Mm-hmm.
Because when they filmed in the winter of '68, Switzerland had a relatively mild winter. So there was not much snow.
That seems to be a common topic in Bond films, because it was the same, I think, in Tomorrow Never Dies, way that for the big bazaar scene, they had a lot of trouble with the snow.
Yeah.
Melting away, basically.
But it looks really gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can imagine Switzerland being so neutral as it is. I can imagine it as the spy hotspot in
absolutely
olden days.
And if you want to have the full experience, you can still book helicopter flights these days when you go to Lauterbrunnen Mürren, and you can fly around the region like they're doing there.
Yeah.
And you have done it, right? You've been in the helicopter.
Yes, absolutely. At the 50th anniversary of On Her Majesty's, when we were there at the big gala event organized by Schilthorn and everybody and Martin Mulder, we did that helicopter flight going around the Eiger mountain and coming back, landing on the glacier, almost on the glacier, and flying back towards Piz Gloria and diving down. That was fantastic. It was the only time my GoPro camera overheated because it had to film so much detail in 4K. If you want to see the video, go to my channel and search for On Her Majesty's 50. There you have the party at the Alpine Room and the helicopter flight and the cars that were there on display. Fantastic footage. Advertising. And Schilthorn is the way it is thanks to Bond. And that is a very, very important fact. Because Blofeld's headquarters, it was not completed. It was partially completed when they scouted it as a location, and they wanted to go somewhere else. They wanted to go St. Moritz and whatever. And they made a deal with the owners, with the Bergbahn Schilthorn. Play you some behind-the-scenes footage here. They made a deal that Eon Productions paid over $125,000, and whatever they built in interior sets, it had to remain as a permanent fixture. And they had to construct a helicopter pad because they obviously wanted to do the attack on Piz Gloria and Bond arriving. So they made the deal: if you build all of that, you can have it. Absolutely.
That's right.
And as Willem said, they ran out of money. So
yeah. And I have to say, I mean, you have to give props to the tourism board in that region as well, because they fully capitalize on it. Something in this region here with the Foka Pass from Goldfinger, they completely failed to do. I mean, it's one of the most famous locations, and they do nothing with it, as opposed to Schilthorn.
Yeah. And 500 tons of concrete built that helicopter pad.
Imagine that.
And it was all brought up by helicopter because this is a height unimaginable.
Yeah, and imagine what you just said. And I mean, this mountain structure at the top. I mean, the underground, the rocks and everything. That's not solid mass. You have to be really careful to build these things.
Absolutely. Just like in Selden, where they built the 007 elements.
Yes.
And well, they gave it the name Piz Gloria. It was the most convenient thing. And here in the behind the scenes, you see some drawings of Blofeld's logo, which includes a wild boar. And it went through several changes, and here you see the full thing, which is still up there on Shilthorne. It's in the museum. It's called Bond World. It's downstairs and in Shilthorne. A fantastic exhibition. And I know we filmed a lot in there, and we interviewed Christoph Egger for my documentary film, A Bond for Life. And this was fantastic being down there. Having all these photos and the script pages and the helicopter simulator and the Bob simulator. Fantastic.
Bob simulator, right.
And the access to Piz Gloria is quite difficult because it's several cable car rides.
Yes.
And of course, Piz Gloria is the first ever established revolving restaurant in the world because it revolves 360 degrees.
And it sounds good in theory already, but if you sit in there, especially when the sun sets and you have your 007 branded burger or something like that or whatever, it's as breathtaking as it sounds.
Absolutely. Yeah. And at the time of filming, they had these orange cable cars, and they were only supposed to be orange during the filming. But for some reason, they remained like that until 1995 with Blofeld's logo on it. Good advertising. Next photo set.
Yeah. Michael Fude just said, search for Blofeld's crippled finger, right? Telly Savalas.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's true. Many of the Bond villains are disfigured by some kind. And Telly Savalas had an accident, I think, with his finger. It's unintentional. Next photo set also includes an Honor Majesty's Universal Exports Robert Sterling business card. Do we have something of Shilthorne in there? No. But we have... go on then. Yes. Some lovely black and white stills, Diana Rigg and Peter Hunt. So you can win that for the following question. You have to guess a little bit. Closest guess wins. At what height above sea level is the Shilthorne summit? In meters. Closest guess wins. I know it.
No big chat. Not the pyramids, big chat.
No. I have a cinnamon star while I wait. At what height above sea level is Shilthorne summit? Massimo, 3,000. Let's see if somebody comes close. Michael Fura, 4,890 meters. Yeah, you would already need some oxygen there. Sascha Strobel, 2,950. That's closest, 2,970. So, it's a tie between Sascha Strobel and Massimo Pola. I play you some behind the scenes while we dice that out. Who should I give it to? I said closest wins. Sascha came first with just 20 meters missing. What do I do?
I think I give
both of them a photo set. Top.
Oh, that's
Sascha and Massimo, you both
Christmas.
win a photo set. Yeah.
Congratulations.
I subtract that from, because I have 14 and I have 12 questions. So
Right.
Sascha, you get that one. Massimo, you get the other one.
Right.
Don't forget to write an email.
Right. Now we're meeting all the Bond, all the girls from Piz Gloria, Shilthorne, and so on, and of course, we met a lot of them, or you met a lot of them over the years, different events on the Schildhorns. Many of them were invited, Jenny Hanley and so on. Yeah. What can you tell us about them?
Well, they are quite proud on participating in that film. Some of them remained small actresses, of course. Angela Schuyler, who sadly committed suicide many years ago, she reappeared, or she appeared for the second time after Casino Royale in 1967, the spoof. But she was a quite established actress. She was in a lot of films. Joanna Lumley, obviously, she is the most famous of the Angels of Death. She is so busy. I tried to reach her for years for anything. I tried to contact her for a message for the Advent calendar, and always when I talk to her agent, she's either somewhere filming or promoting, or her diary has been closed for the year. I never get her. It's impossible. But some of the actresses have disappeared into whatever. German actress Ingrid Bach, for example. There is, however, an interesting story about the American Girl, but I think I have to tell you later.
Mm-hmm.
It might be part of a question. I forgot.
So a little background info maybe, because if you can imagine like the region in the valley, Lauterbrunnen, Mürren, etc., those are like little small villages. The whole valley has about 3,000 to 4,000 people living there. And of course, when that movie was filmed, it was a big event. But I remember some archive footage from the Swiss television when they visited those shoots. Many of the people were just, oh well, I don't know what this really is, and so on. But many of the townsfolk actually helped out in the shooting. They helped carry stuff. They helped transporting things. So yeah, these whole scenes were very much also thanks to the good people of Lauterbrunnen and Mürren.
Absolutely, yeah. Ant-Man Rule says Jenny Hanley. Of course, she's very famous. I met Silvana Henriquez, I remember, at the 50th anniversary. We had several run-ins, funny ones. There was that one day where we had an ice cream outside together because she was dying for ice cream, and the other evening, which was a fun-filled evening with a lot of spirits and alcohol and champagne, I remember, where I tried to get an interview with her on camera, but it was dark outside because it was evening. Go figure. And I was a bit intoxicated, let's say, but she was perfectly fine and happy. She went in on every joke, and just a lovely person to be around. Silvana Henriquez, fantastic woman, great spirit. And there's that scene where Ruby Bartlett paints the 8 on Lazenby's leg, and supposedly in an interview with him, he said that they put a warm sausage between his legs just to play a prank on Angela Schuyler, who was quite the professional, because apparently the sausage was there when the scene was filmed, and that's the one that ended up in the film. And actually, we could have had a totally different layer of Blofeld, a totally different Blofeld headquarters, because Harry Saltzman, producer Harry Saltzman, suggested placing Blofeld's headquarters inside the fortified Maginot Line. But Peter Hunt went on a tour of this underground complex in France, and he was totally unenthusiastic and said, no, not really. And he liked the Alpine location a lot better. And going back on the Alpine room scenes, the cinematographer was Michael Reed, and he said he had difficulties with lighting here because every set built for this film had a ceiling, and this of course, as opposed to the studio, prevents you from hanging lights over the set. And each and every set in this film had a ceiling. So they weren't as advanced as we are today with lighting. So Like I have a soft light standing right next to me. It does not need to come from the ceiling. Now I know the story about the American Girl. Sally Sheridan. She played the American Girl, and Telly Savalas fell in love with her. They were a couple for 10 years. Yeah.
Okay.
And she's the mother of Nicolette Sheridan. Some of you might know from Desperate Housewives. Or Spy Hard with Leslie Nielsen. There you go. Question time! For the next photo set. Lovely. Which also includes another Universal Exports card. I don't know how many I put in there. Lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Lovely photo of Bond and Tracy on their wedding day. You can win it for the following question. Get ready, people. Of course, you can win multiple sets. Well, you just have to be fast. Don't worry, there's more. On New Year's Eve, I will have more prizes for you. Actually, on the 1st of January. Question. Get ready, people. How many Angels of Death appear in the film? How many Angels of Death are there? Ready to write the name down? The first person who writes... Oh, I almost said the number. David Jones, 12. David. You win this photo set. Congratulations. It's 12.
Congratulations.
Fantastic. This is going well.
Well, very well.
Great, great, great.
So let's talk a bit Telly Savalas.
Yes,
I love him.
please.
Love
Yes.
him. I love him.
Yeah.
Just a little tip from me, in case you haven't heard it, don't go listen to his rendition of the country classic "Some Broken Hearts Never Mend." That's when I heard that. That's what ruined a little bit of the mystique of Telly Savalas for me, to be honest.
Yeah.
But anyway, Greek actor. He has a great face. He's fantastic. I love the his bold appearance. Yeah.
He was bold very early on in his career. And he decided to just leave it like that and go bold for the rest of his life. Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, they had Donald Pleasance before. They could have gone on with him, but they replaced him because Albert R. Broccoli and director Peter Hunt thought he was unsuited because the role of Blofeld here in this film is much more physical than in You Only Live Twice. In You Only Live Twice, he was mainly sitting in a chair directing the action, and here Blofeld has to go on a bob, he has to go on skis, he has to run, he has to shoot and fight. As I remember, Donald Pleasance only fired one shot in You Only Live Twice. So, and it works really well. It works really well with Telly Savalas. Yeah.
I'm just asking myself, when you talk about Donald Pleasance and so on, I'm not as knowledgeable in Bond as you are. What's the explanation again for all those switching Blofelds?
It depends on each film. I don't know. It's
no, but wasn't there an explanation how they explained why Blofeld looks different?
Not that I can remember. No, not that I can remember. No. No. Here it was just Donald Pleasant. Donald the Pleasant Pleasance couldn't do the physical side of Blofeld. And maybe for the next one, Diamonds Are Forever, Telly Savalas was not available. So then it was a thing of availability. And in the first two films, you don't even see Blofeld. In the second one, he just, and in Thunderball, he just appears behind that blind. And in From Russia with Love, he's just seen with his fish, which we will play Blofeld's Aquarium. So for the big prizes, I really like them. I would keep them myself if I could, but yeah. I like it. And funny enough, this is not on Piz Gloria, so this is completely Pinewood Studios. I would really love for Piz Gloria to look like that you could actually sleep there and have hotel-like bedrooms. I know they have one bedroom. They have one suite on Shiltorn, which is for wedding ceremonies and stuff. I would really like to know how it looks like.
Yeah,
Here's some behind-the-scenes footage of Bond seducing girls, which was not really a good decision by the screenwriters, because it diminishes his relationship with Tracy. So he is in love with Tracy. We've seen them riding together. We've seen them making plans. He has not proposed yet, but he is in love with that wonderful woman, and yet he goes after the girls here on Piz Gloria. It seems kind of odd. I always found it odd. And I actually don't really like it.
Martin just wrote, following our conversation about Blofeld, that in the novel he uses disguises and changes identity often after the events of Thunderball, since he knows MI6 are after him. He's so good at it to the point that he even changes personalities. Okay. He's keeping,
Yeah. It's good that we have a lot of people who know their way through the books here. That's always very important. I have read some of them, but not all of them. Because, as I said before, reading doesn't relax me. I find it entirely stressful. Don't know.
Same here.
But that's just me. Big Chap says, a Bond-themed hotel with 12 women and 1 man. Sign me up. All right. I know what we're doing next year for the Bond Bulletin. There is actually a Bond-themed hotel in Milan. In Italy.
Right.
Yeah. You just need 12 women. Well, you could call all the Angels of Death.
Yeah, sure.
Helena Ronet, also the Israeli girl. I had a very nice conversation with her in the Revolving Restaurant at the 50th anniversary. She moved back to Israel, I think even Jerusalem. And I remember quite vividly, I asked her if it is not dangerous to live there. And she said, well, us older people and the students, they are used to it. When the siren goes off, they go someplace in a shelter or something, and then after 20-30 minutes they come back up. And I thought, yeah, well, but that's not a life, is it? I mean, but okay, she is, I think, really Israeli, so yeah. What do you think, guys, and Yannick, about the whole plot of Blofeld with his virus and everything? Does it appear particularly dangerous to you and frightening enough to make it a good plot? Yannick, what do you think?
But that's probably just me. I have a hard time finding Telly Savalas Blofeld threatening, because he's so charming and so sophisticated and such a not a relatable character, but just the plot itself. Well, thinking about the situation that we're in right now, it gives it a whole different dimension. But yeah, it's difficult to tell. What do you think?
I don't find the virus plot not particularly threatening, but as we are in a situation now with Corona, and Mick just said the virus is called Corona in the book, I kid you not, I would have to look that up.
No.
I don't remember. And the film is called Virus Omega, but targeting livestock and cereals, as well as I remember from Blofeld's words. I don't know. It seems weak as a plot. Maybe in 1969 this worked, but today, and a lot of people who watch these older films who come new into Bond say, I can't do anything with that. I cannot relate to it, because sometimes it's the costumes, it's the set, it's the way people speak. some of these films have aged well and some of them haven't. And this includes the plots. I mean, not mentioning Moonraker, but, Moonraker. But
good you didn't mention it.
What, Moonraker? No.
Yeah.
I would never mention Moonraker. But Moonraker was a whole different set. It's still a good film. I like it. I like it very much.
Me too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And we were asked to do a watch-along of Moonraker. So, people, after this watch-along, after Honor Majesty's, we will give you the power to decide what our next watch-along will be. We will give you a selection between one Sean Connery film and one Roger Moore film. The Daltons we will do separately, because they're great, by the way.
Yeah.
And you can select what our next watch-along will be in 2022 when we resume this whole endeavor. We can also do Never Say Never Again. I don't have a problem with that film. I really like that film. And as we said last time, we could also do Casino Royale 1967, but I need a lot of alcohol to live through that. I need more than 1 liter of mulled wine. It's still fun. It's ridiculous, but it's fun. I like ridiculous fun. We both like ridiculous comedians.
Yeah,
Yannick and me. So we're up for a lot of ridiculousness. And there's a bit of behind the scenes coming up of the curling scene. Here you go.
Which you can't do these days. That curling lady is not up there anymore.
No. But they put one up for the 50th anniversary, actually. Yeah. But I didn't try it. I was too scared to slip and fall onto my brand new dinner jacket.
Oh, no.
I didn't want that. As an actual interesting fun fact, some of you might not know, Campbell, who is played by Bernard Horsfall here, the guy with the Volkswagen Beetle, he climbs up Schildhorn and is captured by Blofeld's men. And later, when Bond is captured, you see him hanging upside down, which is a matte projection. A matte painting projection, and he's hanging upside down, and Blofeld gives a comment like climbers these days and something, and this is actually taken from a real situation that happened, a climbing accident that happened on the Eiger North Face in 1969. A climber had died and was left hanging upside down on a rope because it simply wasn't possible to immediately recover his body, because the location on the face of the Eiger was inaccessible. And John Glenn and Peter Hunt saw the dead man swinging in the wind, and they reproduced that image for the film. And you can see it's fake when you see that scene. I will tell you later when that scene comes up. You see it's fake, but it's a good fake. It's that matte painting jobs they did, and there was a lot of matte painting in on Her Majesty's. A lost art.
And these rifles are also interesting that you can see in the movie, because I think, is it Michael Hackel who has one of these, because they're rubber guns mostly?
Yes, absolutely.
They close up, they look completely, you could clearly tell they're made from rubber, because that's just what they use in the movies, because when they have to do stunts and stuff so nobody gets hurt, because of course real rifles are made out of metal and really heavy, and you can get injured, so they use rubber ones. And Michael Hackel from the Swiss James Bond Club has one of these original props.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It looks really good. I mean, there's a lot of natural light in that scene, and bright colors, typical for the 60s, swinging 60s. Fantastic. I really like it. And the old helipad, of course, doesn't exist anymore. They built a new one. And actually, they last year and this year, they remodeled the cable car stations. So it has a bit of a futuristic look now, I think, from the pictures that I saw. So sadly, it's not the original Piz Gloria as it was in 1969 when they filmed.
Right. And of course, also the cable cars and everything looks completely different.
Yeah, absolutely. But, well, change. I mean, cable cars, and here's that scene coming up with the slow motion, first used in a Bond film, when Irma Bunt knocks him unconscious, or somebody else knocks him unconscious from behind. It's
there we
really,
go.
It's a split second. So change needs to be introduced to these cable car systems and everything. Everything has to be really modern, safety standards and everything, fire safety, and because I've gone up there and there's a very steep climb. The first cable car ride, when you're not going to Shilton but going to I think Muren as the first station, and then there's the Birk section, and then there's Shilton, and some of it is quite steep. So you have to have the most modern safety features there.
Yeah. Still, even with the modern safety features, there's still quite some accidents happening with cable cars. There was one, I think, this year close here to Switzerland in Italy, which was quite dramatic. And so, yeah, even with the utmost safety standards, it's still dangerous.
Yeah.
To a certain extent.
Yeah. Michael says, does this Blofeld hypnosis tape still play on the toilet? I don't know. Did it ever? When I was in there, I just noticed things appearing in the mirror.
Right, bullet holes and stuff like that. It was really nicely animated. Yeah.
Yeah, they invested a lot in that to make it a prime Bond location. This is a fantastic scene. Dialogues with Telly Savalas. Really great. He oozes danger in that scene.
But stylish.
But stylish, yes. Absolutely. Yeah. But I like it. The way he holds his cigarette. It's all a bit off. It's all weird. But you like it. And then his speech is delivered. His master plan is delivered with such elegance and force. And, he means what he says.
Right. And that face, it's so...
Staring eyes, piercing through you.
Not blinking.
Yeah. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. And often this is difficult to deliver because of, you have to breathe in air, and depending on how much text you have. And already this is physical. I couldn't see Donald Pleasance doing that.
Right.
And although Donald Pleasance was a fantastic actor.
Yeah. And you always have to take into account, I mean, these locations, of course, with the exception of the sets in Pinewood, like you said, but when they shot on Shilton, when you're not used to the height, I mean, we in Switzerland, we are used to it to a certain extent. But when you're in such a height, it is really, everything you do gets really exhausting. You remember smoking a cigarette on top of Shilton. It's almost impossible walking and performing. And I hope my memory serves me right that Warren Ringham, who you talked about before, who did the Cue the Music Show, also did a set or a show up on the Shilton, and I think he also said his the brass plays they had a hard time because you needed a lot of air anyway, and do it on the mountain top.
Absolutely,
that's really
Oh, I would love to have a living room like that.
Like which?
I would like to have a living room like Blofeld's living room.
Well, go for it.
Yeah. No. Here's the scene of the climber hanging. Yeah. And I play you some behind the scenes of Blofeld's office, and later the escape of Bond from this from the clutches of Blofeld. You already see that in the behind the scenes. And stuntman George Leach doubled for Lazenby. Yeah, I'm almost through the mulled wine. And Bond clings to these metal cables of the cable cars. And this was really tricky to film because the grease on the cable caused George Leach to lose his grip several times, and his body twisted round and he was trying to hold on to that, and in the process he dislocated his arm and fell, but they had boxes there prepared for such an event because they pay great attention to the safety of stuntmen. And since he couldn't film the rest of these scenes, it was stuntmen Chris Webb and Richard Graydon, famous Richard Graydon, who completed these shots. And again, here you have a matte painting giving you the depth of this location, which didn't exist. This is where the boxes were. And the girls having presents. And again, you have the color purple, quite prominently featured. I don't know why it's there. I have no idea what the significance of the color purple is in this film. So we have the tapestry in the casino in Portugal. We have the presents here. Where was the other purple? I forgot. But here in the behind the scenes you see George Leach filming these scenes. Fantastic. I mean, they did a lot on location. Great. The dress of Olymp, exactly. The dress of Olymp was purple as well. Thank you, Willem. Yep. Here again, that's also matte painting. Everything that is below Bond.
The Draco girl was in purple, yes. Thank you, Michael.
Yeah.
Michael?
Yeah, that's Olymp.
Oh, sorry.
No, we have to look out for more purple. And most of the Alpine room still looks like that. So you have this backdrop that's behind Irma Bunt here. You have this staircase going up. That looks the same. And they will never get rid of it because it's a recognizing feature. And it's fantastic to stand in that. Whether if it's on a busy tourist day or if it's at a gala event like 50 years on Her Majesty's.
Yep.
And you rarely have the time to stand there and just look at it. I just like to stand someplace and just look at it for half an hour or something. I did that in London, filming locations of the world is not enough. You just sit there and you look at it. You do nothing with it. You don't film it. You do something. I do a lot of filming, but then I sit down and look at it and thought, oh, well, this is where they made all of that. And over there was the camera and over there was all the crew. And it's very great to soak that in.
Absolutely.
It's really great. It's a great thing of
I had that.
traveling.
I had that on the strongest on the GoldenEye Dam.
Yeah.
Really.
Absolutely, yeah.
And also the Foka that we mentioned before, but that's like we pass it all the time, so it's nothing special anymore. But the Saska Dam was really, it's nice we could share that moment.
Absolutely, that was very imposing.
Yes.
Distinctive Great Media says there's purple lighting in Blofeld's lair. If you didn't already say that, I didn't, so thank you for reminding me. That's true. When Blofeld comes out of this decontamination chamber or whatever it is, there is purple light on him. Yeah. Fantastic. Didn't think of that before. It's really great. Yeah. Big Chap says that's one of Bond's most spy moments, using his trouser pockets. Yeah. There's a lot of these. Also in For Your Eyes Only, when he uses his shoelaces to what we now know is the Prusik knot to go up. It's a fantastic thing. Yeah. I love the matte painting here because it's very convincing.
Yeah, the matte painting works great, but the sped up footage was just...
Yeah, sped up footage we have a lot in Bond films.
Moonraker as well.
Yeah, Thunderball. When he throws the chair in the chateau, also sped up footage, never works. I don't know why they did it.
And From Russia with Love, isn't the boat in the end?
Could be, yeah.
Yeah, but just before it explodes, they sped up they sped up the whole footage looking out on the sea. That it never works. Never works.
Nope. And he appeared with John Barry's majestic theme.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And the tension of the cable car coming towards Bond and seeing how it is placed on the cable and going pretty fast. So this is very well done.
Yeah.
Very well edited. Yeah. Distinctive Great Media says Quantum of Solace, they sped up the whole film.
That's right.
You are not wrong there.
And it didn't work too.
Yeah, it didn't. For some, it did.
Yeah.
It's a great scene, and of course the introduction to the escape from Piz Gloria. So now it's really Christmas.
No.
Bond escapes Piz Gloria.
And
a huge amount of effort went into that.
yes, and also thanks especially to two people, which is Willy Bogner, skiing legend who was in charge for those scenes. And a little interesting fact, there was a famous Swiss skier. How do you say that in English? Skifarer. Skier, sorry.
Yeah.
Bernhard Russi. He's a famous, very famous one. He won medals and stuff. And he was the stuntman that jumped over a chasm, and he was severely injured. He broke his neck in that jump, and had to lay in the hospital for 3 months.
Yeah. And there are many in these scenes playing Blofeld's henchmen and guards. These were many Olympic ski competitors and ski experts. Yeah? They were body doubles and extras, supporting roles for performing the skiing sequences. Because, well, you need expertise in doing that. Because when you film it, and the way it goes all the way down the mountain, and to film it again, you have to bring everything back up. So, and do it again. And then the snow already has the tracks in it. So I think they went for experts who could do it in almost one take, or on a different stretch of the slope. Distinctive Great Media says Purple Flowers. Well, that goes on the list. It's interesting. And the actors were not allowed to ski because of insurance regulations, obviously. Yeah. So Lazenby and Diana Rigg, they skied off set. Yeah, they did. Lazenby did. I don't know if Diana Rigg did.
But they did some of the things themselves, but not skiing, but some of the driving in the slopes and so on, because they had so many close-ups that it would have been, but
that was done in with back projection.
Oh.
Yeah, you will see photos of that later in the skiing sequences. So they had a backdrop. Yeah. Really nice. Talking about skiing, it's time for another photo set. There's not many left. This is the 7th question. So the next photo set, with just before Bond escapes, with a lovely shot of Telly Savalas here, and this lovely shot of Bond and Diana Rigg, Tracy in the casino. I love it. This goes for the question: in how many films does Bond ski? Actually skiing, not just snow. In how many Bond films does Bond actually stand on skis and is skiing? La 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 la. Mick says 6. No, it's not 6. Mark says 7. Sasha says 3. John Lennon 5. That's correct. 5. John, you were the first.
Congrats.
John Lennon.
You may want to share some of the photos with Paul.
What? Come again?
You may want to share some of the photos because it's a photo set with Paul.
Yeah. The films in which Bond skis: On Her Majesty's, The Spy Who Loved Me, For Your Eyes Only, A View to a Kill, and The World Is Not Enough. 5. John Lennon. Do I send that to New York? David, I was before John. In my chat, you appear after. No, you appear after John in my chat.
Yeah.
Don't worry, there are still sets to be won. There's more. And there are the big prizes. We made it right in time for the escape from Piz Gloria. I don't like the skiing suit though.
No, the colors are funny.
Yeah, it's really weird. And the goggles are
yeah, right.
They are really weird.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that they speak German and good German.
Yes, right.
The Englishman has escaped. Der Engländer ist abgehauen. That's really good. I like that. And also the telephone calls that Blofeld receives are in German. Oh.
Right.
That is really nice. And the cat meow. Just the cat meow. Just today I played with my girlfriend. I played that game 10 clicks, where on Wikipedia you start on a random article, and from that random article you have to end up in 10 clicks at another given.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and she said Persian cat. And I don't know where I started. I had to start at some mathematical formula and work my way to Persian cat. Oh, it was horrible. This is some fine skiing there.
Yeah.
This was filmed in the Schilthorn area, so this is a skiing area. You can ski there if you want. Yeah. Thank you, Distinctive Great Media. We are always happy to do these watch-alongs. It's immense fun, especially at Christmas when we have prizes. And by the way, they are not officially linked to Eon Productions or Universal Pictures or whatever, MGM. I made the prizes myself, so they go on my budget. Everything you can win tonight is sponsored by the Bond Bulletin, and you get it nowhere else. Simple as that. What you can get is a $25,000 lighter from the 007 store.
What a joke! My God.
Yeah,
I'm wondering
just like
if they will
these
send...
things more.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they even will sell one.
Apparently, they sold 3.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Congratulations. Well, it was worth it then.
Oh, absolutely. Probably one to some person in Dubai. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
But Ant-Man Rule says, great to be joining true Bond fans. And I think this is a part of being a Bond fan. I mean, you receive a lot and you give a lot. I receive a lot from you guys in the comments and by following me and by the love you give me for the videos I do. And it's Christmas. I just want to give something back. So that's why we have these photo sets. And Mark Sartkamp says there are dickheads who buy this. Absolutely. It's never all about money. And I wrote under the post on this lighter, somebody wrote an ironic comment, oh, you have to have that because you're a Bond fan. And I said, oh yes, right, true, you need to have that as a Bond fan, because as a Bond fan you define yourself about what you own. I forgot that.
Sure.
Totally.
Sure.
Which is bullshit. I mean,
Yeah.
I own nothing. I stopped collecting stuff because it just gets too much. Ooh. I collect stuff that is paper that I can fold away somewhere, but
Yeah.
no. And for me, Christmas is about giving, so that's why I came up with these prices. And I thought they are really unique. You can get them nowhere else. They don't cost $25,000, but for the true Bond fan, they are worth something.
Yeah.
So stay with us for the finale after On Her Majesty's, when we give away these big prizes. I really love them. As I said, I would have kept them myself, but
Yeah, they're great prices. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Also, the ice rink, Grindelwald, when the cinematography looks from the cliff down, that was also a matte painting. It was overlaid. And in the 4K version, you can clearly see that because it moves around, it wiggles. The scene creates great tension here.
Yes.
With the music and everything. It's fantastic. I love it. The film is long, but something is happening every minute, although the beginning is quite slow. So the first half hour, the first 45 minutes, they are quite slow. I like this part more, the third and the fourth half of the film. Big chap, thank you. Very much appreciated.
Thank you.
Yeah. And when did the official Bond thing, Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, give anything away in prizes? It's ages.
Yeah.
Ages.
Yeah, that's right.
So I think it's appalling the way their social media is run.
Yeah,
it's always the same.
Definitely
it's repetitive and fan service almost non-existent.
Yeah, it's a real shame. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree.
That's what I like. That's why I like what I do here together with you and all the videos, and I can do whatever I want. I have nobody behind me and nobody giving me any rules, so that's much more fun.
Yeah, and you have to take matters in your own hand if you want to.
Absolutely.
Want this stuff.
Yeah. And again, I was appalled having the Blu-ray of No Time to Die with bonus footage that is just 30 minutes long or something. So, that's why I buy a collector's edition. What have I actually collected?
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
Oh, God. I can produce better bonus material from the material I have here. But okay.
Yeah, no, it has to be said. It's true. I'm sorry. I mean, they have a gold product on their hands, and they do nothing with it, or very little.
Yeah.
And you wrote it, and you did a tweet, and I absolutely agree. I mean, selling a 25-pound lighter which doesn't even look good and doesn't have any significance, it's a slap in the face, basically.
Yeah. Willem just said, when I was on holiday in Grindelwald, I was looking for the ice festival location. I could not find it in the region until back home rewatching the movie. The ice rink is a bus stop now. Yeah. This can happen. As this is actually, it was filmed in the middle of the village, so rebuilding, they used that space. Yeah. And here they actually used a double for Diana Rigg ice skating, because Diana Rigg simply didn't know how to do it. And especially at that scene, you see a lot of snow being piled up on the sides. This was what I said earlier. Switzerland had the mildest winter in 40 years in 1968 when this was filmed. And they had to transport snow from higher altitudes to cover the area, to dress it up like really, really thick winter. And I know John Glenn told me about it.
Yep.
And this happens frequently on the Bond films. It happened on Honor Majesty's and For Your Eyes Only, and also with Spectre. Whenever they film, they have a mild winter and not enough snow.
Yeah.
But I really like that scene, even when they use the double, but it's only for the legs. But Diana Rigg looks fantastic in that scene. Yeah. Really fantastic.
What was, it just escapes me, what was John Glenn's job in On Her Majesty's Secret Service again? He was brought in later, is that right?
It was a second unit. He did the Avalanche. He filmed the Avalanche, for example. Yeah.
Which is very interesting how that was put together. I will come back to that later. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Don't tell people too much, because I heard John Glenn is part of the Advent calendar. But I don't know for sure. I just heard.
Okay.
I just heard. The closer we get to Christmas, the more exclusive it might get. But I don't know. I have no idea. I know nothing. I know nothing. Faulty Towers. Great. Oh, this is so beautifully filmed. And the behind-the-scenes pictures you see here are quite rare. They're from a Swiss archive. Fantastic. Distinctive Great Media says, anyone ever noticed the overdubbing of the same line twice during the car chase, where Tracy asks, how do we get out? Yeah, that's true. There is a lot, actually, that was overdubbed, and some of it ran wrong, or double.
Mm-hmm.
And you will see some behind the scenes of the car chase soon here. An interesting scene which involved a lot of effort by everybody. So, for example, some of the cars that were used in this car chase were brought from Portugal or Spain, and we've talked about this before. Erich Glawitzer, the race driver, he drove some of the cars. He drove Tracy's car from Portugal all the way to Switzerland. And he drove straight through, and he slept in the car, and he always tells that story. And when he arrived in Switzerland, the car stank like if you had a wild animal in there for the last couple of days. And it took years for people to find the location where this was actually filmed, the car chase, the ice car chase. How do you call it? I forgot the name. The stock car race. So, and it was filmed near Lauterbrunnen, but many people placed it somewhere else. Here you see the behind-the-scenes images, where of course doubles were used, but some of it was filmed with Lazenby and rig. A very, very interesting for many reasons, because when you look at the ads that are displayed behind the races. There is Corgi, for instance, which of course produced the toy cars of Bond that you could collect in the 60s and 70s. And they had all kinds of cars. They had Minis, they had Volkswagens, and of course the fantastic Ford by Tracy. Fantastic car. And also, it's not just a dubbing. I think she rams a car 2 times, and the car is a car with the number 6. It's turned on its head, and when you look closely, they just turned the image upside down because the audience behind the car is also upside down. I had to freeze frame it. It was obvious that it was done that way, but I always freeze frame stuff to double check it. Not that I'm telling you some random shit and it's not true. Most of the stuff I tell you is true.
Yeah, the Mercury Cougar looks great, and actually, the scene that follows soon after, where they drive into this barn, was reenacted, so to speak, by the Swiss James Bond Club a couple of years ago, and that was a sight to behold with the original. Well, it was not the original Mercury Cougar, but it was also red with the skis on the back, and just the sound also of that American engine and driving into that barn was really a great sight.
I know. It's an Austrian couple. They own that car, and it's fantastic how they also Hansi with his 2 Lotus cars, how they make them look like in the film. And I think here comes that scene where that one car topples over after Tracy ramming it, and when you look closely, but I think you have to freeze frame it, you see that the audience is the wrong way around. It's a very blink and miss situation. But it's a fantastic scene. And George Lazenby and Diana Rigg, they did most of the driving because they had a high number of close-ups in that scene. Now there's I give you another photo set. So, with another Universal Exports card, Robert Sterling. And some nice pictures, including the 2 of them in a sleigh. Really nice. If you can answer the following question.
Get ready. Everybody, good luck.
Yeah, first one who writes it down wins. What brand is Irma Bund's car. The car following Bond and Tracy. Irma Bund and the henchmen. What car are they driving? Who wants to win photo set number 6? Mercedes 300. The brand is enough for me. So Mick gave the first answer, Mercedes. Mick, congratulations.
Congratulations, Mick. Well done.
Yeah. Very good. Still a few to go. It's great how much you know. Willem, Mercedes-Benz 220S. It's amazing how much you know. I mean, there are databases about that, but I always love this information because you never know when you need it.
That's the scene with the barn, by the way, that I was talking about.
Absolutely, and we've been there. I know it was this town name. I mean, it rolls from the top of your tongue. Heiligenschwendi. That's the way. That's the town. How the town is called, and of course the interior was probably Pinewood. But it's a fantastic place, and the owners are quite friendly. But nobody will ever tell you the location if you ask a location hunter because they don't want to be bothered, basically. Which I mean, they make cheese, and they probably want to sell it. They are happy when people come. But it was very nice to be there. Yeah.
Right. Absolutely.
And I remember I filmed it with the camera on a tripod and making it look as if I casually walked and I hid in the forest to film it from far away because I was afraid that people could be offended I filmed their home.
I remember, yeah.
And then 2 years later, you hear of the Bond Club Switzerland, who just has the Mercury Cougar being driven up there, and they open up the whole barn just for a photo shoot, and you think, how silly are you, Benjamin? You could have gone there, but okay.
Yeah.
Here's a bit of behind the scenes of the barn, just a couple of pics. It's a very nice scene. It's a scene that once made me cry. And they use a lot of softness in these shots. There is a lot of, when you have close-ups of Diana Rigg, there's a lot of softness in there. And but the overall question is, does it work? Does this scene work with Bond being more down to earth, ready to settle down with a woman? Willem, I'll write it to you in here. That's where it is. Heiligenschwendi. That's fantastic. Fantastic name. Love that. Yeah. It's actually on a hill. It's not a town. This barn house and the farmhouse is quite isolated on a hill, and the road goes by it, and then there's a forest where we filmed, and right before is that barn, so you have to go really high up.
And it's actually close to Bern, where of course the first Switzerland scenes start.
We did it on the way back to where you live. Ant-Man Rules says Bond at his rawest. That's true. Actually, I can relate to that situation a lot. I think it's very believable. The scene is very believable. I would probably have acted the same way being in that barn. And that tells you a lot. What? With 1 liter of mulled wine, I do everything. And there are 2 horses watching, remember? So you have an audience. I like horses.
Right.
Not in that way.
Yeah. Yeah, great. You brought it up yourself.
Yeah. Not as an audience. Yeah, well, it's shortly after 10, so yeah.
Now the fun begins, yes.
Quickly going downhill now. Yeah. Another cinnamon star before they.
Oh wow!
I told you before. Whenever there's something funny, Yannick sends me this laugh as a WhatsApp message.
Yeah. Yeah. Well.
So we come to the second skiing sequence. There's this one, Blofeld and his goons on skis. And while the first skiing sequence was filmed in the Lauterbrunnen area around Chiltern, this one was actually filmed in Saas-Fee. Yannick,
Yep.
you know the distances of Switzerland.
Yes.
Where is Saas-Fee in relation to Chiltern?
In a completely different place. Because Saas-Fee is about 20 minutes away from where I live. It's many people know Zermatt and Crans-Montana, and Saas-Fee is also quite known. By the way, it's also where Last Christmas by Wham was shot. You know, with the cable car. Yeah.
Oh, right. Yes, I remember.
And so, but I think it's one of the lesser known facts. It's good you bring it up, actually, that Saas-Fee was used because everybody's always talking about Chiltern, Lauterbrunnen, Möden, and so on, but hardly, or many people don't know about Saas-Fee being some location for that as well.
Yeah.
And it's pretty far away, actually, the distance, but they never get the Swiss distances right, and Goldfinger and everywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But it looks gorgeous. The slopes and the thick snow. Yeah. And there was cameraman John Jordan. There's an extra on the DVDs called Bond from Above, I think. He developed a special helicopter harness for filming these aerial shots of the skiers and the slopes and capture all the action sequences. And you can quite clearly see that when you have close-ups of Lazenby and Rigg here, that they have back projection. So you will see it in the behind-the-scenes pictures playing alongside right here. There are shots of those two in skiing uniform or in skiing dress in the studio now. And this cameraman, John Jordan, he was suspended 18 feet under a jet helicopter. And the pilot flew around the mountains, the peaks and the glaciers, and a difficult thing to do and a dangerous thing to do. And actually the following year, cameraman John Jordan, here's the picture, by the way, of Dinah Rigg in the studio. So everything behind her was back projection. And cameraman John Jordan was killed in 1970 on a similar skiing job that he did for the film Catch 22. And there he met his end.
Yeah. And
of course, you mentioned Bogner. You mentioned Willy Bogner.
Yeah, right. And these avalanches, by the way, they are not actually where they are playing in this scene. It's partly stock footage, partly it's something that was created. Yeah,
although but they set off a real avalanche.
Right, but it's not. It didn't happen where it was filmed. It was in another place.
It was somewhere else. Yeah.
Yeah, and at the beginning, someone mentioned that on a Majesty's Secret Service is also quite gory, and I think that scene with the snowblower where one of the skiers goes into and it blows all the gore and everything out. That's quite something for a Bond movie.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And some of these shots were done with optical effects. The stuntmen were optically inserted. Some of the snow is actually salt and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. And it especially when you have it in 4K, it doesn't look pretty convincing.
I can imagine, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. The avalanche, part of this avalanche was shot for real. Watch the advent calendar closely. I already revealed that there might be something by John Glenn. But since he was in charge of that avalanche scene, maybe he will include that in his report.
Yeah.
It's like the Christmas message of the Queen. So you have a Christmas message by John Glenn.
Right.
That's really something.
And I remember, when was that? 2 years ago when I was in Braunschweig visiting you and when we had dinner with John Glenn.
Yeah.
And at that time, I was already working at the radio station, and we had severe avalanches and winter situation here going on. And I told him about it, and he was very he was very moved by it. Probably has also a connection to when you have your experience with scenes like that, you get a whole different approach and a whole different mindset about these things when they happen.
Absolutely.
Because you see the raw force of nature.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you mention Willy Bogner quickly? Because there was a picture in the behind the scenes of him skiing backwards down the mountain, which is what he really did. He had the camera between his knees and he was going backwards while the skiers were coming towards him at really high speeds. So Willy Bogner is the guy to do these kinds of things, and he was called upon on almost every Bond film where Bond skis. I know For Your Eyes Only, he choreographed a lot of that, and he filmed a lot of that. They had high quality stuff. So the skis they use on a Majesty's were all Kneissl, an Austrian firm of ski equipment, and they were White Star RS skis if you want to buy them. Pretty much recognizable because the top is white with the red star of the company printed on it, and the bottom is yellow with a black star. I personally don't like them. I always had different skis. Atomic I had when I was young. I'm an avid skier, by the way, if you don't know. I can't ski as well as Willy Bogner, certainly not as like in this film. Okay, since we're talking about skis, another picture set. Yes, Yannick,
yes.
What are you saying? Yannick,
Big Chat was just turning the game around. He introduced the question himself.
Like what?
Here's my quiz. Big budget film with huge avalanche and Bond crew, but not Bond.
Quantum of Solace.
No. Yeah. Not Bond, yes. Donald Sutherland.
Okay, we're down to the last 3-4 photo sets, so they are getting a bit bigger. I can show you. They are quite big now. So some of them are 13 by 18, yeah. But this is a mix. Some of them are smaller. To win this set of 10 by 15 and 13 by 18, answer me the following question: what should you do to your skis before you hit the slopes? What should you do to your skis before you hit the slopes? The first one who writes it gets this photo set. I sometimes did. Not always.
I never did it, actually.
David Jones says, wax. That's you winning this photo set.
Yep.
It's your second photo set that evening. Yeah, that's great. It all goes in one package. David, you should wax your skis before you hit the slopes. Absolutely. Because if you don't, they will be hard to maneuver on ice and everything.
Of course, great answer. What should you do with the skis before you hit the slopes? Put them on.
That's yeah. Yeah. Michael, not in my chat. David was before you.
Yes.
I can only judge from my chat.
No, it's the same here. David Jones was a little bit earlier.
Yeah. And you can later check on the replay if you don't believe me. You can later check. Michael, don't worry. You will win later. You will win one of the big prizes. Tracy and Blofeld. Also a nice scene. That's where they brought in an additional writer. Give you some behind the scenes here of Diana Rigg enjoying herself on Piz Gloria. Simon Raven was brought in. Yeah.
Brought in an additional writer to do what exactly? Well, right, yeah, but
to refine the dialogue between Diana Rigg and Blofeld. For example, so this was writer Simon Raven they brought in. As I said, some of the dialogue between Diana Rigg and Blofeld, it was supposed to be sharper, better, more intellectual, and Raven did something interesting. He inserted this quote from the poem that Diana Rigg recites. And this quote was from the story of Hassan of Baghdad and how he came to make the Golden Journey to Samarkand by James Elroy Flecker. Because it's quite unusual to have poetry in a Bond film, but that is what she recited, and that was it was quite nice to add that in. Again, the music, fantastic, the build-up. And here you see Terence Mountain again in that one helicopter, who played Raphael in the beginning, fighting against Bond, and now he's fighting alongside Bond. And Michael says, watch out for the disappearing and reappearing helicopter during the attack. That's true. I always found that really off-putting. You have Piz Gloria in the middle, and 2 helicopters on the right, and 1 helicopter on the left just fades in. That's really fantastic. Really? Yeah.
I have to watch out.
Yeah.
I have to watch out for that.
I'll show you. It's yeah, you really have to watch out for that. I don't know where it is actually, but it's fantastic. Yeah. Oh, come on. Before the attack on Piz Gloria, let's give away another photo set.
Yes.
So, as I said, these are the bigger ones. The bigger photos. Oh, it's another photo set with a Universal Exports card. Michael, this is your chance. You just have to be really, really fast. And again, I have no influence on when the message is actually displayed here. So, I wait a second until I ask the question. It's a big photo set. These are 13 by 18. And mostly, Diana Rigg, wedding dress. Fantastic. So, and a Universal Exports card, Robert Sterling. For the following question, is everybody ready? This is really easy, so everybody will know that. Everybody will know that. Here it goes. What television role was Telly Savalas famous for? Question. The answer is not 5, 8, 9, or 1. Nor is it mice, dog, or cat. What TV role was Telly Savalas famous for? Michael, finally! I accept that. I accept that. There's an I in there, but I accept that. I accept that. Michael, you win.
Congratulations, Michael.
Yeah.
And thank you for always joining us.
There you go. Yeah. I know you wanted to write Kojak, but the I is right next to the O, so...
Yes.
That's it. See? It works. You can win at the Bond Bulletin. The attack on Piz Gloria. Fantastic. The last time they used John Barry's original arrangement of the Bond theme from Dr. No.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
And I always felt it was very weird.
Yeah. Distinctive great media. I completely blanked and nearly wrote Bojack. Kojak Horseman. That would be funny. Yeah. And here you actually see some moving footage in my behind the scenes of the scenes being shot. I think they're from Swiss television, from a Swiss television report. I always loved that. I didn't include much because much of it you have on the DVDs, so it's nothing new.
But you see, it just doesn't work. This music, it doesn't work. It would have to have an epic big thing, and it's just the standard old Bond arrangement. It doesn't fit the picture at all.
It's true. Yeah, I agree. An original piece of music would have fitted better. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Weird.
And there is that scene of Bond sliding on the ice and firing a machine gun. And they improvised that. It was just an impromptu idea by director Peter Hunt to do it. Because, hey, yeah, on ice you slide. Great thing. Oh. It doesn't look bad. It actually looks really good. Here is that scene.
Yeah.
It's a typical Bond thing to do. It's really great. But I agree, the Bond theme does not fit here.
No.
Big Chap says the ski chase music would be better.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
it would. Ha! Distinctive Great Media says, Yannick, you could rescore this scene, perhaps? I put a challenge to you.
Yeah. I could if I would still do it. Yes, but well.
Oh, come on.
No, I'm out of Bond.
Oh. But you're still my house composer. So
yes, absolutely.
Yes. Yeah, I appreciate that very much. I regard you highly for that.
Thank you very much.
That at least everybody can enjoy some of your creations next year, definitely for the 60th anniversary. We have a lot coming. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this German inscription on Piz Gloria, which isn't there anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Somewhere near that awful shot of the cable car blowing up. Oh. And the German inscription on the wall is Versöhnung der Technik mit der Natur, which means reconciliation of nature and technology.
Mm-hmm.
It's not there anymore. Thank God we're fluent in German. Yeah. Ant-Man Rules says music score needs variety. Absolutely.
Yep.
Tell that to Hans Zimmer.
Zing.
Sorry. Actually, No Time to Die, there is variety, but it's still typical Zimmer.
Mm-hmm.
I would live there. I mean, look at that.
Absolutely. It's so invigorating.
Oh, question 11 I can't ask because I already gave the answer away.
Ah.
Okay, I can have a different question for another photo set. For the person who can tell me, be quick people, wake up, another photo set.
Hello.
Mixed. Photo, John Glenn helping Diana Rigg out of the avalanche. That's among the photos you can win. If you can tell me the following answer to the question. What brand of camera does Bond use on Piz Gloria? Just the brand. I tell you the rest. What camera does he use on Piz Gloria? A spy cam. I like these spy cams. I have one, but not that one.
Is it the
It's not Canon, it's not Nikon, and not Leica. It's a German company. I can tell you that. Oh, it seems to be difficult. Pyramid. No, big chap, it's not Pyramid. Bojack, no, it's no. Oh, I found a question that is difficult. Closing the pen again. Zeiss, no. Minola, close but no cigar.
reference?
Minola. If you can build on that, Mick. If you can change the LA to something else. Willem, Minox. That's correct. Minox. Wow, you're swinging it tonight.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Minox B8 by 11. Congratulations.
Good job.
Willem. Yeah.
Congratulations. Yeah.
I like Bolex as well. It's really great. Big Jab, you're killing me. I'm on the last mulled wine. Oh, I already have something in my cup. Thank you. The Bob Chase. Fantastic. Yeah. That is really good. As somebody mentioned earlier before, also done by John Glenn.
Yeah.
And the stuntman doubling for Blofeld here was Swiss bobber Robert Zimmermann. So he was actually a Swiss title winner and Olympic participant. And the scenes were not without danger, as any Bob run is. Zimmermann got minor injuries several times filming that. And actually, they originally planned to film this at the Crestar run in St. Moritz. But this proved to be unworkable because it was impossible to cordon off from the spectators, so it could only be used for an hour a day. And the producers simply had no choice but to build their own at considerable cost. And they said, okay, then we do it here, Lauterbrunnen. And here you see some behind-the-scenes shots of that.
I always find it fascinating, you know, when you see those millions and millions budget that film productions have, and still they have to be resourceful and very, very tight on the budget when it comes to decisions, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. And St. Moritz was often in the running for something at Bond, but the problem with St. Moritz is it's ugly. It's ugly as hell. Yeah, it is. They have these high-rising buildings, and all the high society staying there, finding it absolutely fun because they're tanked all day with champagne and don't realize that it's just concrete buildings. And even the hotels, they don't look spectacular. It's just, well, it's concrete BS, basically, St. Moritz. It just established itself as the high society hotspot, but so did Kitzbühel, and Kitzbühel has nice architecture. It doesn't need high-rising buildings. I'd rather go to Kitzbühel than to St. Moritz.
And because of all that high society, it's ridiculously overpriced. For the most modest things, they have ridiculous prices.
Absolutely. And again, here in that scene, a lot of back projection, obviously, but much of that is real. The Bob Run doesn't exist anymore, but when you are there and you actually find the remains of the Bob Run, you can see it. You can see the sides. Fun fact: I've been in a Bob. I've driven down a Bob Run in Winterberg, which is the German it's a competition Bob track.
I never.
The dog.
Oh,
Lazenby improvised his line there. Completely improvised.
Bernese Mountain. No. No, it's not a Bernese Mountain dog. It's
Berner Senn. I don't know.
No, it's different. It's Bernhardiner.
Oh yes.
Saint Bernard. Yes.
Bond picking up the wedding ring. It is a 2-color gold wedding ring, originally designed, and I give you some behind the scenes of the wedding and the ending scene. So until the end of the film, you won't see our mugs. You will only see the behind the scenes pictures. And the ring was designed by 1960s jeweler Charles de Temple, and he was well known, and his jewels were known for being large, extravagant, and sculptural statement pieces. And so is this wedding ring. And this style he had led to the high demand for his work in London during the swinging 60s. And this ring, actually, the On Her Majesty's wedding ring, went to auction in 2019, selling for over £50,000. The hammer price was £52,500, and here you have some moving footage of where they filmed the wedding scene, which was again in Portugal. That was the staged wedding. What you see in the behind the scenes now, that is actually not Sambujal. That is actually in the hotel where they filmed, in I think Estoril. And then they had the real wedding at the location where the bull ring was. And it took 5 days to shoot. And the wedding dress, again, is made up of flowers. It's a flower jumpsuit, which is the final link that everywhere where Diana Rigg is, there's flowers. And it was an original creation by costume designer Marjorie Cornelius. Dress style of the late 60s combined with a chiffon coat. And just the coat was auctioned at Christie's in 2001, sold for £5,640, and was estimated at £1,500 to £2,000. So that's where you see how much this Bond stuff is actually worth. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody paid £3,000 more just to have this chiffon coat. Huh?
Yeah, but compare that to a $25,000 lighter.
Absolutely.
That wasn't even in the movie.
Yeah. Yeah. And when Bond tells Draco that when he offers him the $1 million and he says her price is far above rubies, he actually quotes Proverbs 31-10 from the Bible, which describes a worthy woman.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, we have that ending scene that I think in 1969 people did not warm up to. I can imagine. And in the original scene, the original first take, George Lazenby was crying when they were finished shooting it, and Peter Hunt, director Peter Hunt, had them do the scene again because he said Bond does not cry. And there were only these 2 takes, but Lazenby was the one who convinced Peter Hunt to use the first take with the crying, because considering the circumstances of his wife being killed so shortly after the wedding and him having found his love of his life, they should let this be an exception. And Peter Hunt agreed, and so this became the first time Bond cries, and the only time until Skyfall where he cries when M is killed. And this is a fantastic scene. It's nice. It's really nice. Very well done. People being killed is often done in a very disrespectful way. Essential characters are being killed off in a very disrespectful way. Look at No Time to Die, for example. Felix Leiter and Blofeld. I think it's disrespectful to the characters how they were killed off so fast and so meaningless. But here you actually feel with Bond, and it takes you right by the throat. And it always gets me. The way he's caressing her after she has been killed, it shows a different side of Bond. That back then, people were probably not able to accept. Today, this is easy to sell, but the border is quite thin on people agreeing with that. For example, in No Time to Die, they said they did not feel any chemistry between Bond and Madeleine Swan, and so they did not care at all for their relationship. So it doesn't make the ending any better, but well, let's go on. Photo set, the last photo set.
Yes.
No, actually, I have 2 left. I don't know why. Well, because I gave 1 away. Okay, the last 2 photo sets, people. Next one is an easy one. We have again 13 by 18 pictures. Nice one with George Lazenby and the Bob, ready for the back projection. And some of the ice cards.
Nice.
Fantastic. 13 by 18. So, I mean, they are really big. No, it's not pyramids, big chap. Holy goodness. Moonraker, he will have a go. Moonraker, that will be. We should do something for Moonraker. Okay, the photo set goes for the following question. Get ready, people. It's easy. It's really easy. But you have to type a lot. What phrase is written on Bond's wedding ring? Oh, come on, that's easy. That's easy. I'll get ready to write the name down. First person who answers, who I see in the chat answering that question, what phrase is written on the wedding ring? Everybody's typing. We have all the time in the world. The Bond experience. Well, there you go. I'll put that down as David Zaritsky, shall I? Welcome to the show. Have you been here all the time? It's great to have you along. You get a nice 13 by 18 photo set and the Universal Exports Robert Sterling card, which you probably have. Well, you have two. You can make a quiz with it. Okay. Wow, you literally just came in. Okay, you just came in for the big prizes that are behind me. David, you still have a chance. We have a lot to give away still. But first of all, let's talk about the film. That was it on Her Majesty's Secret Service. So, we spoke about the foreshadowing that is going on in the film pretty early on. I didn't realize that when I was a child watching these films, because this is something you see later, I think. Especially the foreshadowing of Tracy's fate at the end. Yeah? The black cat, the 13th, where the knife is thrown on the 13th. And the telescopic sight at the beginning, foreshadowing when she's killed by Irma Bund's rifle. And Mark A. Draco's offer of 1 million in exchange for Tracy's hand on the night of the 13th. Superstition in any way, but it's there. We realize that there is a lot of the color purple, but we have no idea what it is about. Maybe we find out. But yeah, for me, On Her Majesty's Secret Service is one of the most visually striking films. So Peter Hunt said he wanted a look that was the classic 1950s Hollywood films that he grew up with, and I think he achieved exactly that. It is a fantastic looking film, from the set design right down to the costumes. Sexy as hell, the Angels of Death. Yeah. What do you guys think? Yannick, you're the music guy. What does this film give you in terms of sound effects and music?
While it's a product of its time, it's you can't deny, like I said before, it's not one of my favorite John Barry scores overall over his whole tenure, but it is, On Her Majesty's Secret Service material is so memorable. And like I said, even if today in retrospect some of the use of the synthesizers sounds a little wonky by today's standards, you have to give him credit for being being on par back at the time when synthesizers first came up, and he is this old English gentleman with working his orchestra, that he incorporated stuff like that is commendable. And I understand that people hold this soundtrack in very high regards, and it works in many places, with the possible exception of the Bond theme in the scene we're talking about in the attack on Shilton. I still can't imagine why they use that piece of music, because they could have reused the On Her Majesty's Secret Service material, which is much more pressing and much more interesting and broader and bigger to listen to, as opposed to just the standard 007 theme, which doesn't even fit the scenes. But apart from that, and also like we talked before, like the instrumental title track, which works great, and of course Louis Armstrong's contribution to the Bond movie is also
and the appearance of the Bond theme not fitting the scene also happens on From Russia with Love, for instance, when he goes into his hotel room. So he does a normal everyday thing like going into his hotel room, and the Bond theme is playing like he is doing something super extraordinary, which he isn't. I always found that off.
And the original recording that was used there, I think we have also another problem these days, is that we just heard it too much. It's still used in so many trailers, and it's been used everywhere. It's in compilation lists and so on. It's just overused, generally speaking.
Yeah. Michael asks, does someone know why the song by Nina was replaced in the German version with Katja Epstein, famous German singer, and in the French version with Isabelle Aubray? My take on it is... What's the Nina song English? I think the original song by Nina was Do You Know How Christmas Trees Are Grown? Yes. But songs were transcribed and translated into others, like The Look of Love from Casino Royale 67. It was translated into German and sung in German by somebody else. No, it was actually performed by Mireille Mathieu, because she was able to speak German and to sing in German. Like me, I'm able to sing in Greek if you want me to. Absolutely no
Yes.
problem. You just learn the words. And I think Katja Epstein provided a German version, which is Wovon träumt ein Weihnachtsbaum im Mai? What does a Christmas tree dream of in May? Which is a totally different translation. In the French version, I don't know. I heard it recently, but I forgot. Because not that I don't care for French, but I had it in school, but not my kind of language. Although I like it, but I can't master it. So I think it comes down to translation for the individual territories.
But
Which happens only with secondary songs.
Yes,
Goldfinger was not translated into German and blasted all over the main titles.
No, but did we talk at one point, or was there a story? I don't know if I'm just completely dreaming about this, but wasn't there? I think in the German dubbing version, I think there was a problem or something was done wrong, so it keeps switching between the German and the English version of the song. Like you said, Christmas trees are grown, wovon träumt ein Weihnachtsbaum. Wasn't there a story with that?
That could be. I would have to check it. I would have to check one of the old DVDs, because a lot went wrong, especially on Her Majesty's Secret Service. I remember when Her Majesty's was part of the box set. There was a box set which you could unfold, so you had all the films in a big unfolding thing. And On Her Majesty's was the only film which only had a German audio track and not English. So I sent that back. I said, I don't watch the films in German. I only watch them in English. So what should I do with one film having only a German audio track? Useless. Absolutely useless.
Right,
like any British person would throw away a pressing that only had a German audio track. I mean, it's ridiculous. And it happens only with Her Majesty's, I think. That there are a lot of irregularities with sound and music and dubbing, and the weirdest thing is when they reinserted scenes, as we mentioned earlier, when they go to Switzerland in the car, where there are mistakes in the translation, and they added scenes, but the original dubbing actors were dead. So George Lazenby has two different voices in the same scene, like in the love scene in the barn. He has two different voices, and he changes the voice within the scene in German. It's horrendous. Yeah. Weird.
Yeah.
Weird.
But it happens in quite a lot of movies. I also remember, sorry to bring up that movie again, but also in Star Wars it happened when, George Lucas is known for changing those movies all of the time. Yeah. And they run into a lot of problems in the dubbing versions, because then they re-add scenes, and what do you do then? Some movies they just leave it in original English track, and they just have a disclaimer at the beginning of the movie stating that some scenes were inserted afterwards. That was with the movie Copland, for instance, with De Niro and Sylvester Stallone. So they just left the original English, and then sometimes they just bring in other voice actors and they try to match what was done before. Never works.
Yeah, absolutely.
Never works.
True. Yeah. Distinctive Great Media says, I actually watched The World Is Not Enough in German because I think the mix of the music is actually better than the English one.
Really?
That could be. Sometimes that's the case. Yeah.
Yep.
Depends.
And
I always wondered on how they do that.
And Distinctive, I would be really interested to know, what do you think of the German dubbing? I grew up with them being dubbed German, so I'm very affectionate towards the voices that they've given them. Pierce Brosnan, in my opinion, has a great German voice actor. What impression did that leave in you? It sounds completely different to Pierce Brosnan than what he originally sounds like, but it's a great voice.
Are you asking me, or are you asking somebody else?
No, I'm asking Distinctive Great Media.
Okay. Mick Corbett just said Charles Helfenstein has a remarkable book on this movie, and it's a must-have if you love Her Majesty's. Here it is. I just got it. This is really a fantastic book. You should get it. And, people, it is thick. Like, it is that thick.
Oh, wow.
It is a fantastic book, and as I told you, it has stills of that scene that was filmed, the deleted scene where Bond is chasing Fidian from the College of Arms. And you have all the photos in there that you can win tonight, or that you have already won. Yeah. So it's got full-size pictures of Diana Rigg, for example. I can't even see it. So like that, yeah. It's really, really fantastic. You should get that book. And I had it with me. Here it is. The Fidian Chase, Death and Train Crash Cover-Up in storyboards. Yeah. So if you can get your hands on that book, you should really get it. Charles Helfenstein, The Making of On Her Majesty's Secret Service. There's a similar book about the living daylight, which I don't have, sadly. I have to put it back. It's behind my book, A Bond for Life. The Making of. Go in there. Yeah, there are a lot of Heineken bottles here. Sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, you've seen my backside. I'm terribly sorry. How insensitive of me. Horrible. Talking about George Lazenby. What does everybody think of George Lazenby? Yannick, you go first.
Oh, no. You told me before we started the stream we will go into that, so I've stated
well,
enough. I think
I said we stay politically correct and don't bash him for his personal misdemeanors.
Yeah.
We can agree upon that he's difficult.
Yeah.
As a person.
Well,
but just speaking, okay, let's focus just on his acting in this film.
Right, okay. So the problem is I cannot answer that question because I have that particular problem, and we've talked about that many times before, because you said, you know what, I don't care in the end how someone is in real life. I watch the movie for what it is. I personally can't do that. And that's also why I don't On Her Majesty's is one of the movies I don't rewatch so often, because I'm sorry to say I can't bear to watch him because I have such a distaste for him personally. And like you said, we don't go into any details, but I can't separate these things. So I can't watch such a person portraying one of my favorite movie characters, and so I just can't watch it. The acting is okay, it's fine, it does the job, but it's nothing that's out of the ordinary.
I think for being a car salesman and being in a chocolate advert, when they saw him and decided, well, he could be our next James Bond, and from his bold entrance onto the scene, but just storming into Eon Productions' office with a suit similar to Sean Connery's and saying, I'm the next James Bond, what are you waiting for? Basically, it's not literally his words, but from what transpires from the screen, there is really a lot that makes his Bond worthwhile. So his Bond is quite warm, while also being very brutal. Scared, he runs from danger, let's not forget that, several times. He's vulnerable in the scenes with Tracy, but also very cordial. And it has a lot to do with our perception. We think of Bond as a superhuman who always lives through his adventures, who doesn't die, and that brings it in context with No Time to Die, because we perceive Bond as a person who cannot be touched, who cannot die, who survives in the end, who brings the mission to a close. But Lazenby plays him as a man. And Lazenby's Bond, he makes mistakes. He runs from danger, and quite rightly, for his portrayal, he was the only actor in the Bond series to get a Golden Globe nomination for playing James Bond. I think at that time, it was really well deserved. Setting it, making that quite clear distinction, I'm setting it apart from him in person being quite unbearable. And I mean, it's no secret, Diana Rigg said it in interviews that he was difficult off-set. And there is a reason why he did not continue and didn't do another Bond. And believe me, it was not because he said Bond films go nowhere, or his agent said that. It was a different reason. Definitely. And if you ever meet the location manager of On Her Majesty's Secret Service, he will tell you why George Lazenby did not make another Bond film. Next year there will be a book release by a good friend of mine. His name is Carsten Beischall. He lives on one of the German islands here in the north. And he has recently been to Switzerland to research locations and meet people who were actively engaged in the making of On Her Majesty's Secret Service for his book. And I think the true story why George Lazenby was not offered a second film will end up in that book. So thank God I don't need to do it. Because George, if you're watching, sorry. But I had 2 run-ins with George Lazenby. I think the first one, the one that we had, was on Chiltern when they opened the Walk of Fame, where I had a scheduled interview with him, and down in the Bond World exhibition, and you remember that quite well because it destroyed your evening. We set up the camera and everything, and the interview was pre-arranged with the cable car manager. And the actors there were paid that day to give interviews and stuff. And I set up my camera and everything, and George came my way, and I approached him and friendly said, "Mr. Lazenby, would you have time for an interview?" An obsolete question, because the interview was promised to me, only that he was not instructed when and where, and that it would happen.
And the man who organized it from Chiltern actually came to our table, and said he's now in the Bond world. Now probably a good time because he has time on his hands. He's leisurely strolling through the exhibition. Maybe you go and ask him now.
Yeah, and nobody's down there because of the sound. It would be better for the sound, yeah. And Ant-Man Rules, thank you for being with us. He needs to go. Thank you.
Bye, Ant-Man Rules.
Yeah, see you next time, hopefully, next year, for the next stream. So we were in the Bond world, and I set up my camera, and I approached him and said, Mr. Lazenby, would you have time for an interview? And what he did was he sized me up from top to bottom. And he really looked at me like, I'm George Lazenby, who are you?
Yes, right.
I was James Bond, and who are you? That all of that was in his look, and it transpired. And I found that totally irritating. And then he tried to find an exit route to get away from me and my camera. And he went away with Jenny Hanley. And I think Silvana Henriquez, I don't really remember. I remember it was Jenny Hanley because they were chatting about that sausage story we mentioned earlier. And then I said something. I said this interview is for charity, for UNICEF. And he said it interviews only for money or something. Yeah,
it was slightly different. You asked him if you could do this, and he just said, well, I've been taking pictures all day long. I don't feel like it anymore.
Oh, yeah, right, yeah.
And then you said, no, it's not taking pictures. It's actually for my documentary for a good cause for UNICEF. And he was already walking away when you said that. And then he just yelled after back to you, I only do it for money. And then he was off.
Exactly, yeah. And I have that audio recording of that. The camera was not running, but the audio was running, because I always have my microphone running before the camera, so it captured that little moment in time of me asking him nicely, and he's saying only for money. And of course, before that, you're right, he said he's taken pictures all day, but that's what they were paid for.
Right.
So,
and a hefty amount at that.
Yeah. And it happened again on the 50th anniversary of On Her Majesty's at Chiltern, where he was staying in the same hotel as I was, but I had a suite and he didn't. And I got something to drink earlier at the bar than he did. Coincidence. And several fans came to me and say they can't believe how rude and ridiculous he is. And I said, why? What has he done? And one fan went to him and asked him if the wedding ring was produced twice. If they made 2 copies of the wedding ring, one for him and one for Diana Rigg. And he was at the bar drinking, and he said, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, not really nice.
No, that's...
And
you know what? It is a different thing when you're out in private and you get sort of fed up always talking about it and so on. And you walk in the streets or you're somewhere you're shopping for groceries and someone just hits you up. That gets on your nerves. I can understand.
Absolutely.
But when you are there, you're invited. You get paid a lot of money to be there, to interact with fans who you owe everything to, and that is your reaction. Sorry, that's just being an ass.
And you represent the Eon Production Bond franchise.
Right.
I think that's even more of a letdown on George Lazenby's part, appearing the way he does. I mean, he can be friendly sometimes. I heard a lot of fan stories where he was very friendly. But then there are the other stories of fans wanting to take pictures from him. And again, it was the same event. It was the Honor Majesty's 50th anniversary, where a fan went to him and asked him for a photo. And he said, "No, I won't take a picture with you. Look at how you look like. I would take a picture with your wife, because she looks good." I mean, who would say that? But okay, I don't want to bash George Lazenby. No. People are like they are. Maybe I am the same in 50 years, but I don't think so. Anyway, let's speak about Diana Rigg.
Yeah. I think we have gone further than we wanted on this, but
absolutely. But everything is the honest truth is never wrong. So no problem.
I agree. Yes.
No, but I'd rather more speak about Diana Rigg, who I adore, not only in this, but generally as an actress. And I recently saw Last Night in Soho. I don't know, guys, if you've seen that. If you don't, if you haven't yet, you should. It's her final role, and I thought I was in for a thriller, but it was actually more of a horror film. But a fantastic actress right till her last film. She's been in Game of Thrones, and I enjoyed her performance in everything. I've seen some of her old films, and especially in On Her Majesty, as she said herself in interviews, she was paired with Lazenby to have a counterpart that actually had some experience in the acting profession, just to balance it up. And there were stories about them in the newspapers that she ate garlic before the love scene and everything, which she always said she might have had a chicken liver pate and something ridiculous to do that, that she could have sprayed or taken a mint. But these things happen. I mean, but she is a very, very, very beautiful woman.
And is it... But you said you're a big fan of hers, and you talked about it a little bit now. You said that you like her acting and so on. But is there something in particular you can or want to point out that makes her so stand out from any other actresses?
Well, I have to think. First of all, she comes across in many, when you watch interviews with her and some films, she comes across as really, really posh, which actually she isn't. She seems very down to earth, but they always say never meet your stars. I heard from some fans that she never signed any autographs for Germans, for example. Because her family, her mother and her father, they lived through the Nazi times, obviously, through the Blitz in London, and a possible invasion of Britain by Germany. So she somehow she had a problem with Germans. When she was in the theatre in London and you were at the stage door asking for her autograph, it happened to many German fans, and you said, "I came all the way from Germany to see your play and to have your autograph," she would not sign for you.
Okay.
Without comment. No?
Yes.
So I never know if she had something against Germans, but and also letters to her management would not be answered if they came from Germany. Some fans tried it through the Netherlands or France. They asked friends in France if they can write to Diana Rigg's management and stuff. But as an actress, she picked her roles wisely to build up this image of her, the classic English lady, and that is something that worked very well. She could do physical roles, she could do high dialogue, and that makes her a standout actress. Yeah.
And I don't want to get political, but the thing is that I hate about the times today is that when they are so pretentious, like in the production of No Time to Die, where they go, oh, we have the strongest females ever, and we have this and that. I mean, she was a prime example of a strong female, and it was not shoehorned in. It was
Absolutely.
naturally built in through the story, through her character, how she is as a person, as an actress, and it
Yeah,
was natural. It was not some political agenda, and it didn't bother anyone. You would buy her role. Nobody felt like you were tricked into something. And
true.
to today come, like young actresses, and they go on oh, I play the first strong character of the Bond universe. Oh, come off it. I mean, that's disparaging to all the actresses that did a good job and that already were
Yeah,
independent female characters. It's so demeaning, and I could puke my guts out really when I hear this stuff. It's not
absolutely.
because
But
I'm against
yeah.
political correctness, but it's absolutely out of place.
No, but I'm with you on that. Absolutely. I've said it before. Before all the actresses went on record saying, I'm playing a strong character in Bond and I'm an equal to Bond, these women, Diana Rigg or Barbara Bach, they were all equals to Bond before.
Right.
So
Right.
this is absolutely nothing new. Yeah.
Yes.
And
Right. Right.
yeah, Big Chap said Diana Rigg did more stage work than film. That's true. Yeah. And I would have loved to seen her on stage, but well, sadly, she passed away.
Yep.
And when I was younger, I did not go to London often. I saw Dame Judi Dench on stage, which is also an experience. Ben Whishaw, they actually were together in that play called Peter and Alice, which was fantastic. Seeing a stage play is so different from a film, because in a film you have several takes, and on the stage it's just live. And this requires much more of an actor than
Right.
being on a film, because on a film you can do things 2 times, 3 times. So Willem says loved her role in Evil Under the Sun.
Yeah.
Fantastic film with
And it is so.
Ustinov. Yeah.
And it is always a very special sensation when you see a face that you know from a movie on the stage just a couple of feet or 100 feet away from you all of a sudden. We had
Yeah.
that experience with Götz Otto,
Yeah.
Stamper in Tomorrow Never Dies. When you see him in the movie and you see him in the play, of course playing a completely different character, but still it is weird. It is weird in the best way.
Absolutely. So let's give away the last photo set
Yes.
before we go to the main prizes. And I told you before at the beginning of the stream, you have to play a game. So it's not normal questions. Again, this is a 13 by 18 set of black and white stills. Bless you.
Excuse me. Thank you.
Including Diana Rigg and a lovely frog. Oh, how nice. And this, I love this shot of Diana Rigg and Telly Savalas, and she's petting his bald head. So you can win this photo set and have it framed on your wall later in your home for the following question. Get ready, guys. It's not pyramids, by the way. And it's again a guessing question, so the closest guess wins. What was the initial total box office of On Her Majesty's Secret Service, not counting the re-releases, only the initial worldwide box office? I have a number here with which I researched 2 times, so it must be right. None of the answers are pyramids. Try Moonraker. Mick says 64. Distinctive Media says 200 million. Big Chap said 50 quid. That's not really a lot. Do you actually like that film, or I don't know? Just asking, just curious. Mick, you're the closest with 64. It was actually 64.6, and you gave the answer first. Your million came later, but I accept the 64. So, Mick, you win the last photo set of 13 by 18 photos.
Congratulations,
Fantastic.
Mick.
We have all of them gone. Willem said the actual number 64.6, but I said, well, closest wins, and the first answer wins. So, which is, oh, Martin, a question for bald people. How do some bald people have such shiny heads? Do they wax them or something? Just a random thought. Yannick, that clearly goes into your job.
Well, it is just, it always depends. When you bald like me, you shave regularly because you have bald spots and stuff like that. And I always use my electric razor, and it doesn't cut all the way through to the skin, so it doesn't look shiny. But then there are people who are also bald by choice, and they do it with wet shaving or whatever it is, or with cream. So they really take off the hair to the skin, and that's when it becomes when the head becomes shiny. I don't know. I think it's just different sort of skin almost on top of the head. But of course, I'm not a dermatologist. It's probably bullshit that I'm talking here, but But you can also see in the camera when you look at the arms, for instance, it's normal and everything, but the head is shiny.
Fantastic insight.
Yeah. Again, a lot to do with Bond.
Yeah. Well,
but Telly Savalas has a very nice shiny head, or had a very nice shiny.
Absolutely, that's true. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so we are at the crossroads. You can win the big prizes. I take everything away here because it could be in my way. As I said in the beginning, we will be playing 2 games. The first game is called Where is Feckish? I'm going to explain to you how it works. It's quite easy. It's absolutely easy. You're gonna manage fine. First, I give you the intro, and Yannick, of course, you realize that we have to be silent now, just to let the intro play. Here's the intro for our game. Where is Feckish? So, I quickly explain to you what this game is about. You get a tiny fraction of a picture of a scene from a Bond film, and you have to quickly type what Bond film and what scene this is from. The film is not enough. You have to give me the film and the scene. It does not need to have the actual scene name, like Gondola towards Piz Gloria. You can just say Piz Gloria Alpine Room or something like that. It needs to be the scene where Bond is in, the location where Bond is in, the place. So, like, for example, when you have a short cutout of the Alpine Room, you need to say that's the scene where Bond enters the Alpine Room, something like that. So it's a lot of typing for you. As Big Chap says, fingers at the ready. I will give you, first of all, the price. The price for the first game of Where is Feckish is this. An On Her Majesty's Secret Service cup with George Lazenby and Diana Rigg on the poster print. This cup you can win with the first game, Where is Feckish? I show it to you just so that it actually exists, because it's not prizes that we made up. Here it is. Here is the cup. I really love that. As I said, I would keep it on my own because I really love motif cups. And this is, you can get it nowhere else. It has no writing on it. It's just the poster print, and the quality is really, really nice on it. It's hand painted. Yeah, you can drink tea from it. Distinctive Great Media. Get a grip, people. You can win something for free. So this cup, just joking, by the way. This cup goes away for the first scene that you identify correctly. The first one who writes it down wins. Here is the first cutout for the cup. There you go. What scene and what film is this from? Where is Feckish taking the picture? La 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 la. I know it. I could win the cup. Ha. I know that one. What scene and what film is that from? I agree, it's small. Martin says Skyfall, leaving the breadcrumbs for Silver. No, it's not Skyfall. I can tell you that much. A View to a Kill, In the House of... No. Big Chap says Octopussy. You know it?
I think yes.
Skyfall, New MI6 Headquarters? No. Live and Let Die, Roger Moore shaving? No. There is somebody lying on the ground. There. If you haven't seen it. That is the easy game, by the way. Blowfish Aquarium will be a lot more difficult to win the big prizes. It's a lot more difficult. Die Another Day on the Boat? No. Quantum of Solace? No. You could randomly give me all film titles, but you need to say the scene. That's a difficult thing. Willem! Moonraker! The Venice Lab! Willem! You have not only won a lot of photo sets, but you've only won the cup as well.
Wow.
It's the Venice Lab in Moonraker. Very good, Willem.
Bravo, Willem.
Very, very good. Congratulations. Let me just write your name on that. That's a big Christmas package.
On the cup?
Not on the cup. Yannick. Really. Congratulations. Well done.
Yeah, well done.
Okay.
I would have been off right away. I thought it was the world's not enough somewhere.
Okay.
Testing site.
Yeah, it's difficult with these cutouts, and I know in the Bond forums of the German James Bond Club we had a game like that, which was running for ages. They were tiny, but really tiny. That was a big cutout I gave you there,
Yeah.
and the next one will be a big one as well. There were tiny cutouts from the left side of the picture, and you had to guess the scene and the film, and this was so difficult because sometimes it was just a part of a flower or some shit, and you thought, okay. However, I'm not flicking through the film scene by scene. Okay, your next chance is to win a photo book. A small photo book. Here it is. I give you the price. This is a photo book of Honor Majesty's Secret Service with scenes from the filming. Some of them are in the photo sets, but these are combined in this little photo book. It is not big, people. Don't be fooled by the picture here. And it's purple. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's purple. And I show it to you here. Oh, bollocks. Oh, sorry, I said bollocks. Sometimes do that. Here it is. It's not big. I'm sorry. And it's not a consolation prize, but it's nice. It is purple, and it has pictures of the filming in it. It's just a nice little collectible gem. And it has the Bond bulletin on the back. And some writing that nobody will be able to read because it's on the purple background. So, okay. But this one goes out to whoever. Where's the thing? I don't know. I write the name separate to it. So, the second game of Where is Fekesh? Here is your cutout of the scene. And you have to tell me which film and which scene. There you go. To win the Honor Majesty's Secret Service mini photo book. It's actually quite nice. I like it. Photos have a great quality when you size them down. So, what film and what scene is this still from? This little cutout. It's probably a room.
Those are probably flowers.
They are flowers. It's not Honor Majesty's. Martin says the world is not enough. Torture. That almost sounds like a review. But it's not. Big Chap, Tomorrow Never Dies. Do you have a scene for that? If so, it could be right. But I need the scene. I need the scene. When you write a film, Also write me what scene this is.
Tomorrow Never Dies pyramids.
No. Thunderball at the widow's house. No. View to a Kill Stacy's house. No. Martin. Tomorrow Never Dies. Bond in his hotel room. Martin, I think you have something there. Yes, Martin. It's Tomorrow Never Dies. Bond in his hotel room. Absolutely. Big Chap, if you would have given me the scene, I could have given that to you. But, Martin, Tomorrow Never Dies. It's the Hotel Atlantic, actually, but this was filmed in the golf club where Goldfinger was filmed. So it's actually not the Kempinski Hotel Atlantic, but the scene is there. Martin said it. Tomorrow Never Dies. Bond in his hotel room. So I'll write it down. Photo book to Martin. Well done.
Yep, well done.
Well done. Well, price is going away like warm bread here. And I haven't even finished my cinnamon stars. Don't worry, big chap. Now come the big ones. Saying that, munching on cinnamon stars.
Yeah, that was great.
And having run out of mulled wine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here come the big prizes, so I need a gin. Okay. Next, we're going to play for the big prizes. And they are really fantastic. They are really fantastic. Tomorrow Never Dies was Stoke Poges. Yep. Stoke Poges Golf Club. I think it was the gala room or something. Okay. Where they have dinners and stuff. Oh god, I can't stand this without alcohol. Giving away these lovely prizes. Oh. We are playing Blofeld's Aquarium. This is difficult. This is really difficult, people. But big prizes are not given away for easy stuff. Almost said priests. But we're not at For Your Eyes Only yet. Blofeld's Aquarium will have you identify a muffled piece of conversation. So you are basically the fish in the aquarium. So you hear some water from the water pump. But outside of your water tank, outside of your aquarium, there is a piece of dialogue. And you have, just like the game before, to identify which film it is and which scene it is. This is difficult. I can play it more than once. I will play it 2 times. It's like listening experience in school, listening exercise. Yeah. So I first give you the prize. The first prize for the first game of Blofeld's Aquarium is a glass acrylic picture of Diana Rigg as Tracy DiVincenzo. Just get it to show it to you. It's really, really beautiful. This is an upscaled picture, so you have the finest print quality available. Well, I did it myself. Here it is. That's the size, so you have a size comparison, and it mirrors, so you can see it's acrylic glass. Yeah? When you want to hang it up, you have to do the rest yourself, because this comes without any holes in it, because I didn't want to destroy the image. Whatever you want to do with it, I leave that to you. But this acrylic glass still of Diana Rigg can be yours now for the first game of Blofeld's Aquarium. Again, identify the conversation, the scene, and the film as fast as possible. Type it in the chat. First person who types it in the chat wins. Blofeld's Aquarium. Here's the intro for you. Okay. Rules are clear. Hands on the keyboard. Here is your first scene that you will hear muffled for the acrylic Tracy picture. I will play it twice. Here we go.
Have you considered pulling out the agent?
I've considered every option.
Forgive me, that sounds like an evasion.
Forgive me, but why am I here?
That was the first time. It's not easy, I agree.
Oh, yeah.
I need the film and the scene. I think I forgot what it was because I don't have any sound here. But I think I know. You know it, Yannick?
No, no.
Okay, I'll play it again. Listen closely.
Have you considered pulling out the agent?
I've considered every option.
Forgive me, that sounds like an evasion.
Forgive me, but why am I here?
I see distinctive great media. Says Skyfall, Mallory talking to M. Spot on, I'd say. Here's your solution. Here is your solution.
Have you considered pulling out the agents?
I've considered every option.
Forgive me, that sounds like an evasion.
Forgive me, but why am I here?
Very good. Distinctive great media.
Congratulations. Great job.
There you go. Oh, it's upside down. Sorry. That's the tin. You win this acrylic picture of Dame Diana Rigg. A great... Just a great shot. I have to put it away. Sorry. That was easy. Yeah, that was easy. But yeah, wait till the next one. So, distinctive great media. I will write you down for that price. Oh, that's a lot of work. It's 20 past 11 in the evening here. Don't forget to write me an email to the email address you see on the top right, because I need your name and your address to send the prize to you. Acrylic Tracy. So, which means we're at the last game, which is not easy, by the way. Well, it might be. I made it a bit easier. Blofeld's Aquarium was a lot harder when we conceived it as a game to play with regular guests on Skype during interviews and stuff. But I made it a bit easier because after some time, even I couldn't recognize the scenes. So I thought I just level it up a bit. Yeah. Martin, YouTube username and address. It would be great if you would give me your actual name and your address where you live, where you want the prize sent to. If you want the prize to be sent to your boss or your wife or your ex-wife, no problem. Or to George Lazenby, absolutely no problem. If you have his address, you can give me any address you want, where you want your photo sets and your main prizes to be sent. Whatever I get via email, that's where I will send the prizes. Good. Ready to play for the big prize? I'll show you what it is first.
Yes.
It's a unique piece. It's really a unique piece. And remember, and go out and tell it to everyone. You just get this at the Bond Bulletin. This is what you can win. An acrylic poster, a big one, of On Her Majesty's Secret Service, hand-painted. It's a German print, so it has the German writing on it, the German title. And look at the fine detail that it has. This is really fantastic, and you get that behind acrylic glass. Again, without anything to hang it, you have to do it yourself. I didn't have them drill holes in it because it sort of ruins the pictures. There are different methods to hang it up. With that picture comes a little plastic stand-up, so you can actually put it on there if you don't want to hang it on the wall. And this is a fantastic design. I just love it. And as I said, I would hang that into my home because I love it so much. And at the bottom of the picture, I will show it to you. That's the big white thing that you have seen behind me all the time. And I need to move away far from the camera, otherwise you can't see it properly. There it is. That's the size of it.
Wow.
Acrylic. It's just wonderful. I'll come a bit closer with it. So that's what you can win now. German title, Im Geheimdienst Ihrer Majestät. And on the very bottom it says, the best Bond there ever was, in German. It's a unique piece to have. This was auctioned at Sotheby's. The original was auctioned at Sotheby's. And, well, this is the priciest price to give away tonight. So, whoever wants to win that, cost me half a fortune.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, I'm the Bond Bulletin. I can do whatever I want. Is it not true?
No, it is true. It is true. We're
Good.
right.
Again, identify the scene and the film. The first one who writes it gets it. Here you go. I will play it twice. Blofeld's Aquarium for the big prize on Her Majesty's acrylic poster.
Oui, monsieur. I have a bottle of the Blanc de Blanc. Oui, make mine, Chianti. White Chianti, monsieur? No, the red card.
What say you, good people? Any idea? I'll play it again.
I find it really hard. Sorry.
It is really hard. Well, you don't get prizes like that for nothing. Yannick. Again, maybe I play it a third time. If I play it 2 times, then maybe I can keep it. Okay. Big chap says that's Sean. Let's listen to it again.
Oui, monsieur. I have a bottle of the Blanc de Blanc. Oui, make mine, Chianti. White Chianti, monsieur? No, the red card.
So, Great Wuta, whoever you are, I haven't seen you before, in the chat, says, from Russia with love, Bond and Grant. Well, this is pretty much the closest. Let's see if that's correct.
Make that 3 of those, will you?
Oui, monsieur.
I'll have a bottle of the Blanc de Blanc.
Oui, monsieur.
Make mine, Chianti.
White Chianti, monsieur?
No, the red kind.
Red Grant, Blanc de Blanc and Chianti. Great Wuta, you have won. As I said, film and scene is enough. Bond and Grant, you win the On Her Majesty's Secret Service acrylic
Congratulations.
poster.
Great done.
This is
Great job.
really big.
Oh.
Oh, I like my headphones telling me in American English, low battery, please charge. Which means we have to go off. Great Uta, for your prize to be collected, please write me an email. I'll for everybody who has won a prize tonight. I mean, I've written you down. I will hunt you down if I have to. This is the email to collect your prizes. Please send me an email so that I know your full name and address. Because I need to know where to send the prizes. Otherwise, I can't send it to you and it remains here in my possession. Right, this has been fun. Thank you very much for participating, everyone, in our little Christmas special. I'm glad that we could give all the prizes away that we had, and I will try to get them to you as fast as possible. It won't be before Christmas, because that's probably undoable. I have no idea where you live. If you live in Germany and you've won a photo set, you might get it earlier as somebody who lives in the US. With the UK, we might have problems in customs, but I will start sending them as soon as possible. So, and I really appreciate each and every one of you. And as I said, every prize that you get will come with a special card just for you, because I value all of our audience, just as Yannick does. So,
Yes.
and for the next watch along, you can decide which film we are going to do by a poll, which we will put on the YouTube channel page in the audience section, in the community tab. There will be a poll on which watch along we do next. Good. Anything else to add? Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry
Have
Christmas.
a great Christmas time. Continue enjoying the Bond Bulletin Advent Calendar, because there are big surprises to come your way, if I may play the announcer, over the next few days, especially over Christmas, I heard. With that being said, thank you for being part of this tonight, and thank you for playing our games and winning our prizes, and see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.